recording, and now I'm going to do, I guess, just a very uh, overview recap, kind of going through. Um, so, mysterious vigilante Cruz, protector of the Shield District, hired a group to infiltrate a museum built by a newly appointed member of Congress, Kyoto Atrox, well known and liked philanthropist. The museum was located in the Gilded District, and the task was to steal papers and a locked box from the curator's office. The heist was mostly a success, but the pyromancer we know as Darius crashed their heist and burnt down the museum. The party promptly escaped to a nearby Cruz safe house where a mysterious person dropped off a boy, Timothy Edwards. Timothy was injured and refused to speak, but after members of the party comforted him, he drew a picture of an orange eye, a purple owl, and someone they deduced was Warden himself, leader of the Order of the Wardens. On the journey back to meet up with Cruz and return the items, they were confronted by mysterious metal men with skin bolted over their metal skeleton. They were quite dangerous and attempted to murder the party, but were able to be narrowly defeated. They also found a very interesting inn called the Winglorn Tavern and Inn, a quite suspicious place. Now, kind of for the main meat of where we are in the current momentum. The city was assaulted by gangs in a hostile takeover. Many members of Congress and political hierarchy were assassinated, each gate controlled and taken over, and the gangs took power over much of the city. Over the past 2 weeks, warden, guards of every district, Dominic and the theater kids, and the people of the Shield District have been attempting to mend the city, help the people in distress, and regain power and order over it as they wrestle the power from the remaining gangs that were all working together. The seven gangs in specific were the Seven Skulls, the Hidden, the Bogus Pocus, Blood Clerics, Coven, the Racken, Serpent's Hand, and the Yalhalla. After this, Cruz decided it was time to visit Dominic and negotiate an alliance. But upon trying to visit him, he also seemed to have been replaced by a duplicate, which Greg quickly dispatched. Shortly after this trap failed, the party had an astral meeting with Crotalis, the mysterious man. He seemed to think the party has some immortal power or being intertwined connect to them, and he wished to study you, perhaps even dissect you. He also recognizes you are a unique nuisance to his plans. After asking around and finding out Dominic is out and not there for the last while from some other people around in the theater, you all decide to search for him along your quest, as he stated to be on his way to Boak, just as you were. As you lay low, you inch your way to the Gilded District to talk to Boak. I mean, he's in the Royal District, but and perhaps consider stealing an item from his vaults for a shopkeep in the Undercity to trade him for a helm of myth and legend, and ask Boak for answers, as as a lot of you are lost to what duplicates are and potentially what is attacking and causing harm to the city. You find yourself now in a simple safe house. Is in a simple safe house close to the Gilded District. You've been surveilling the city over the past week, with some downtime as you march through the city, preparing to find a way to enter the Royal District. So with this, I'd like everyone to start the session making a roll for the past few days, for whatever you want. More specifically, I'm looking for things that are like keeping watch, keeping rested, trying to keep yourself safe as you guys are going through this city. For specifically Greg and Victoria, I'd like you to make one roll on whatever kind of dice that you want for how you've been practicing and bonding over the last week. So we'll start with you guys, and then we'll go to everyone else.
Oh, do I roll a D100 and risk it? Could go very well.
I mean, it's that or it's a skill check, for like a heart check or some kind of like essence check.
Hello.
A free roll, 88.
88.
88%. Yeah, things have been going fantastic. You've been able to find a little bit of armor for Victoria, so she doesn't stick out as much as this very obviously upper like Royal District servant with these very fancy robes and everything. And you've been able to find some new abilities that were kind of granted through you holding the coin. Being able to kind of pull each other quite rapidly to each other, as well as being able to mold yourself over Victoria to create a set of earthen and iron armor with your own melted body. Um, uh, Something that you've been able to practice and kind of get down, as well as teaching teaching Victoria a spell, buckle buddies. Um, and the armors, especially that you found, was the stealth armor as well. Um, when one of you guys were out on patrol, things have been going really well, and Victoria seems to be beginning to open up to the group and to trust that she's safe and a member of it, and not some captive like she has been for a while. Um, who wants to make a roll next?
We're like sneaking around, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, you're sneaking around. You're laying low because getting your way into uh, the Gilded District, let alone the Royal District, to get to Boak is quite a task. Because not only are the sewers now have a lot of gates that are guarded by Royal District guards. You know, some of the central, like, best of the best, like, highly trained and armed guards. Uh, there's also the walls, as well as the different gates that are also um, guarded as well. And then once you're inside as well, you don't want to be able to you don't want to get caught, and you need to find out where Bowak is and try to get to him. So far, you haven't found any trace of Dominic or anyone, and um, there's also information gathering that you could be having on the state of the city if you want to make that as a role too. But
I'll just do a nimbleness for that.
which role?
Nimbleness.
Nimbleness for which? What was your?
Just roll for how we're doing, right?
Yeah, but what are you kind of like attempting to have been doing in the last couple days? I guess is more what I'm asking.
Oh, then I would have gathered information.
Yeah. If it's more information, then that'll be a mind check, I think.
Okay, I'll go mind check.
Yeah, 11. The city's kind of been in a status quo. There definitely seems to be a lot of the Gilded District, or sorry, the Royal District guards that were out and about in the city that are being recalled back. They do seem to be um planning attacks overall, and
But is my district in danger right now?
they're just trying to wrestle uh, control away from the gangs. Is mostly what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. One.
All right, who would like to roll next?
I can.
Okay. What would you like to be trying to do?
Thank Lucian out to check out for guard rotations, as well as just like general, just the lay of the land to get into the next district.
Okay. Yeah, make your perception check for that.
Cool. I got proficiency in that.
On specifically should be for Lucian's page as well that you should do that on.
Yeah. Perception. Oh wait, clicked the wrong thing.
24. Nice. So, with the 24, for one, I'm almost a little bit curious about what I did to make that a plus. Oh, I see why. Okay. Yeah, 24. Wow. Yeah, you at this point, spending this past 7 days, roughly, just kind of studying all of the comings and goings of guards and how to get in. You found along the center here. I'll share this in art actually. Let's go and share a little bit of a this is just a rough draft of kind of a redraft of the city. Not final at all. It's in the art. You've noticed that along the river, getting into the Gilded District, um, so the central island is you have the Gilded District, which is the one without walls, where the Order of the Warden Tower is, and then the Royal District is the larger yellow one that has walls. You've noticed that there is a little offshoot, starting with a waterfall that becomes a river and goes into the water. That um, that because of the size of bars there are, the kind of a protected grate that goes through the wall there is actually quite weak. It's a little bit weak. It's a little bit weathered down on some of it, and it's rusted. And there's no one actually in the river that that's protecting. It's just around the river and the waterfall and the walls that the guards are there. So if you're able to go under the river, you think that you would have that's currently your best shot. Um, but that also does require swimming across this river, and right where the rushing rapids of a waterfall is just carrying it out back, some of the water back out to sea. Um,
Oh.
so there's some danger there. You've also noticed, the guard rotations on the front. Guards, and as well, like for any of the towers, mostly along the wall there's guards are mostly stationed around the towers, and then every 5 hours are replaced by another set of guards. All the towers are the little orange pentagons along the wall. So every 5 hours they're replaced, but the current guards are not dismissed until the next guards show up. If they are late, they must stay there. And during their shift, every 2.5 hours, once every half hour, the guards walk from one tower to the next. They send half the guards through there. So it'd be something where if you think between there's a place where you'd want to scale the wall or go through the wall or anything like that, you'd have to go not during those half hour
Okay,
to be the safest.
cool. All right, I'm gonna say I told everyone this during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot to write down, and I think I missed them.
Can I hear you guys? I'm sorry, Linux.
I got down the details. I'll explain later. Cool.
Yeah, you got a decent amount, I think, there too. The 24 is a good roll for that.
We're trying to get into the royal sector, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would Victoria have any insider knowledge on that?
Give her a mind check. With how much things have changed, specifically during this, she mostly was with Mayor Margaret, right, constantly, and so she would have had pass through any walls and things just by being with Mayor Margaret, and kind of with that check. But with how things are currently and security being beefed up, and even in the sewers having gates installed, it's a lot of like who's to say, because she's never left the central district besides out of the outside of the walls, really, the front gate. And then she also does mention that so I have left certain buildings, and I've left the central tower through some secret entrances, but I don't know if that's going to necessarily help us getting into the Royal District or sneaking around, but once we're in there, there's some places I know we could hide or could go in some passageways, but it's still the getting in that would be the problem. Yeah, and that'd be all she would know. Catalion, what would you like to roll for this past?
Yeah, I've been
5-ish
thinking. So
days?
everyone else has already been doing a lot of observation, and they have a lot better skill and also knowledge of the city. So I've definitely been like trying to learn as much as I can from them. But in terms of what I've been doing, I
Mhm.
know that we're trying to get into the Royal District and find Bowalk.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the best way to actually help out right now. So I've been trying to memorize the layout of the Royal Districts, that when we're in there, I can be moving us through it.
How would you like to be doing that? Because I don't know if any of you have a map currently. Would you have been trying to find a map somehow?
Yeah, if we don't have a map, then I'd definitely be trying to find a map.
Or
Yeah, no, because I'm not much of an artist, so I can get Lucian to draw out for me. So yeah, trying to find a map.
all right. Would you guys yeah, make a roll there, I guess. Some kind of investigation roll, which would probably be mind.
All right, mine. All right, this is actually much worse than my passive perception, so we'll see how it goes. That's
17.
not terrible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, on one of your patrols, kind of like searching for some supplies and things, you found what looked like a ruined guard post that was quite a bit fancier. It seemed to be a gilded uh or yeah, it seemed to be a royal district guard outpost. It was fancier, decently small, but nice. And you decided to give it a look, and you did find a map that would have looked pretty similar to the one I sent there. You do note that this isn't an officially printed map, and it does seem to be a little old. So there's a chance that it's out of date. But overall, in terms of where a lot of streets are, where entrances and towers are, from what you can tell from the outside and from what you've been able to confirm what with eyes for, it does seem to be at least generally accurate and reliable, even if it's not 100% up to date on every building and every side street and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. But so then I'm probably going to spend the rest of my time trying to memorize it as much as possible.
Yep.
As well as, to keep it on my person.
I'll let you do, considering the time, I'll let you do another mind check with advantage. Considering this would also be a guard map that you would also...
Oh!
That's a nat 20 plus 18. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, look at you doing.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah, whenever you...
Audible gasp, he rolled a nat 20 before a nat 1?
I know, nat 20 coming, right?
Interesting.
Quality of man.
Moving up in the dice.
So with a 38,
yeah, you have this memorized. You have side streets down. You have written in notes.
Can
I
also have potential, like, have figured out like some let's go with 2 potential like weak points in the network around the royal area and ways that we could possibly get in from studying that map?
Yes, especially with Lucian's 24, because you guys would probably be working together and discussing things. You have written down all of the current guard notices, and you've also noticed that there are some runes dotted around it throughout this map. And with that, you specifically you're gonna specifically notice that the guard walkways, even before the strike, kind of always avoided the river and waterfall area. There's also some small little runes where you notice on the kind of the south diagonal side that's joined with the Gilded district. You notice that there's a couple runes that, upon further inspection, um, it looks like there at least used to be gates there that are now in the expansion where a bunch of buildings have been kind of built to fill up that district, have been put against the wall where those uh, gates seemingly used to be. Um, that to the point where like even the rough size estimate that you can get from the map, the amount of buildings would be much larger than a gate that you would and be able to um, discover it. So you could probably assume some stuff from that potentially. There'd be no sewer information on this. There's also some broken down notes of specifically where Boak's that kind of break down Boak's compound a little bit more. You know that you can kind of see the blue thing in the blue place. That's Boak. He is near the front main gate that looks out onto the sea because he wanted to make himself more accessible. You found out through some rumor, and that one little tower in the middle of what looks like the kind of plaza that the rest of it's raptured. That's his like main like personal studies tower. Um,
All right, that
yeah.
whole blue area there.
for the yeah for Boak that tends to be. There also seems to be 3 other offices in um the east wing that seem to be marked as Boak offices. Um, and then the main large section of it that is all like library studies, classroom, lecture halls, and then the little southern little plip little wing that is specifically like infirmary, armory, um, just different. That's where a lot of items are stored, and a lot of magical healing training stuff is. It's a lot more of a university compound.
Dylan is writing.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to keep track of all these things
It's a
that
lot.
I now know.
It's a lot.
You also know that Congress is also held in the central tower now, and that's likely from some of the stuff that you've been able to overhear while you're kind of trying to look out and check things out. Um, Congress and every like royal and a bulk of gilded district guards are stationed still within that to kind of keep that central Congress protected.
All right.
There's a lot that's left. If the other people aren't a member of Congress and not directly connected to like their offices and stuff, they're probably still in their homes. But a lot of the rest of the people are either the guards patrolling the walls and on their street patrols, um, as well as again just mostly in the central tower. So there is a decent amount abandoned as well.
Okay.
That was a good roll.
Yeah.
You find yourself now. That was everyone rolling. So where are my notes? I'm here. Yeah, so you find yourself in the simple safe house. It does seem to have been affected by the bombs. So there's some rubble and some cleaning up that has been able to happen, but there's enough. Food storage was kept well enough. Some of the bedrooms and everything were kept well enough established.
Is this the bedrooms right here?
Yep, that's one of the bedrooms, and there's also a bedroom on the other half, and there's also some cots over here that seem to have been put up at some point as well. You're currently in the dining room with working on the map with eyes. Timothy seems to be watching. Greg and Victoria, I had you to, of course, if any of this stuff you want to reposition, but Greg and Victoria, I had you practicing in kind of this entrance hall area because there just was more open space, as well as less sound would get to the outside world, for you guys to kind of safely be practicing without endangering anyone, any of the structural integrity or anything like that. And then Cruz, where would you be
And this for now.
right now? Yep.
I guess I'll just be walking around trying to think of a way to get in.
Inside the safe house or walking around the city?
You said the city's pretty like in this area. The city's pretty congested, or is it not that congested?
It's not. Uh, it's you're definitely in a place where there's a lot of gangs, there's a lot of guards, there's a lot of people trying to fight, wrestle, and recover. You would know your safe house is better, kind of generally on the map.
Yeah.
Where would you say that which safe house would you travel to
Get this one.
to kind of study it?
Yeah.
Do you have the map in Roll20 anywhere?
I could add it.
Or
Real quick.
sorry, Foundry. Yeah, just so we can like
Mhm.
mark certain things.
Yeah. Let's see.
Navigation, all players. Let's make
So-
that.
Where were we before? We were at Dominic's district. Then a week of walking. Is that what we did?
Dominic's district is like south, like south.
Hmm.
He is
South. Got it.
kind of the southwest of the river, along in that wall district area, right below kind of where the blue is, kind of in that area. Basics, lighting, no token vision. What else do I need to set up to make sure you guys can see there? And you guys should be able to. There should be an arrow in the top left, and you guys should be able to navigate between this scene and that scene as you wish.
Perfect.
And you should be able to go back and forth, ideally. So feel free to go to the Lights Peak map if you guys want to mark anything down, and if you guys are.
Okay,
or
so
want
you
to-
said that like we're somewhere like probably around here.
This is where what's a good place that I can
Like just the general city.
this is kind of like where that's Dominic's district, and so then you're trying to get into here.
Yeah, I figured.
So Dominic's place would specifically have been there, and then you guys are probably going out. Oh, here, let me actually change my camera map. Yeah, Dominic's district is specifically here, down in down here, and then you try to get into the central district. So where would you think that you'd be?
Probably somewhere over here.
Feel free to do like if you do like the measurement controls, you can make like circles and shapes and things as well.
I'm thinking
Because I can't always see your pings.
Oh, I did not.
Because it's a little small. Oh, right here.
I guess.
Oh yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
It makes sense to me, like,
considering the
walk.
size, would it be more like outside of the city or more like inner city? Because you probably have the skill. Because these are also like okay. So if you're there.
Oh, who's making a bunch of stuff? You?
Oh, that's me. I'm just trying to get a sense of how much territory Dominic has under his control versus how much territory Warden has under his control, starting off from the well, because Dominic and Warden are working together. They've been working together for a week, so I figure at this point their goal was to connect. So I believe they would probably have taken these 3 bridges and everything in between.
Yep.
And kind of solidified an anchor here.
Because those are your 2 characters.
Can't exactly see the map,
I'd
so
like.
I cannot confirm.
You should be able to
Are you not going
swap
to
to
Lightspeak
Lightspeak.
The arrow on the top left.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed that.
There's
There we
also
go. Yes.
like a map icon on your side thing where you can look at scenes. I don't know if you can swap between there, but you should be able to at least at the top swap back and forth as you guys wish. You know what? With that, I want to make as Warden and Dominic, well, your people at least. I'd like each of you to make just roll a d100. And we'll see how successful you guys are, and we'll be specifically averaging both of your rolls.
That sounds fantastic.
35.
Okay, D100.
68. All right, so things could be going better. There's definitely been more casualties than either side would like. You at this point have been able to take this central bridge. The lower bridge, because it's connected here, you have been having some trouble with, and you have been able to take this upper bridge as well. But there's enough people close enough to the upper bridge that it is under constant protection, so it's not safe to use yet.
All right.
But it is technically under your control, but there's a lot of pressure on it. There's been many casualties, and I'd say you've been able to get your districts free from overt gang control and presence.
Okay.
And they seem to be on your outskirts for the most part. Your connections to the Undercity have also been maintained, but you have not been able to delve into the Undercity underneath your districts whatsoever.
Fair enough. I would also say if he could, Warden would definitely have also tried to just take this little island that he's on.
Yeah, I would include the island that you're on as everything that you've been able to take.
Yeah, and even if he only holds one side of the bridge. Okay.
I would definitely say that makes sense. For your roll, the major thing has been not necessarily the ground that you haven't been able to take, but the amount of casualties. Because did you make an adjusted Warden number for the 1 million population?
Is it 1 million now?
I'm still thinking between 1 million and 200,000, but
what is the population is an excellent question.
Yeah, we hadn't decided on what the population, but if it's that, if it's 1 million, then you probably have. Trying to quickly do the math of everything. But let me see. First of all, so just if we're keeping the structure that I built for the Order of Warden.
Yeah.
People could do duty there.
If
you're looking at least. Let's see here.
If you don't have an exact number ready, what we could do is instead of having a number, what we could do is I can make you roll. Because you had a 68, I'll make you roll 2d100, and you can take the lowest number, and that is the percent that has been lost of the Warden during just this fight to take your district and the bridge to connect to Dominic.
Anything over 10% losses is like so ridiculously high that Warden would cut effort. Well, to be clear, if you lose 1 in 10 people, that's usually considered devastating. Because now are we talking about dead or just casualties, like wounded?
Wounded would people who are not still fit to fight.
Okay, well that changes. 1 in 10 wounded and that kind of casualty is different.
Yep.
So
roll 2 d100s and we'll take the lower one.
Okay, I'm rolling 2 of them.
And that's why I said the lower one. 46% currently that are not fit to fight. This would include with the bombings where a lot of wardens were targeted. This would probably include wardens that never returned, even within that first week, and never made it their way back to the tower.
Okay.
Whether or not they were AWOL'd and stuff, and the people that have been injured in other senses. So you've lost. That is quite substantial.
We are down to 4,200 wardens who are actually active service.
And these would probably be mostly your lower, like, beat cop recruit level wardens as well. And I'd like a quick roll for the theater kids as well. Just a 1d100 for them.
That makes sense though, because if it was like a surprise attack.
32% of your combat ready forces. Which would include just general population within your district too that are like, yeah, I can pitch in. There's a lot injured as well, and that would again include when the bombing and everything happened. Yeah, so that's there. You guys are. You decided up here is where you wanted your thing. Is this little circle?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And I can accept that. All right. All right.
How many dead are on the gang sides?
Considering your rolls, I'll roll 2d100 with advantage. 82 within your areas. It is a dwindling. While it's been a very tough fight, I did say with advantage. Yeah, 82% seem to be within your guys' areas have been taken out. And this includes within like the bordering territories.
There is going to be a lot of revengeance from Dominic.
And this includes both of your yes. And that is between wardens kind of being refined to just making and almost influencing their toughest people to be on the front lines, considering the force as well as Dominic and Warden and everything kind of fighting. Yeah, they've been suffering. A lot of the there's just been a lot of suffering that's been going on there. All right. With the map pulled out, was there anything anyone else wanted to do in regards to the map? Or
real quick, just so this is where we expect to find Bowalk, right here, more or less. That center tower in particular.
Yeah.
And then you said that we had found 2 particular spots that we could try to break in.
Yeah. Here, I'll activate this to drag you your prints too. The waterfall entrance, which would be here, would be quite good. There are also the 2 places where gates used to be. Seemingly were there and there. And there was one more I mentioned, wasn't there? I'm blanking on it right now.
I'm blanking on it too.
What was it, Prince?
No, I don't have anything, sorry.
Oh, I just mentioned guard rotations. So if you did want to find a way, like halfway through them, it's every half hour. The guards go from half the guards go from one tower to the next, and kind of make that rotation.
All right.
And they're not necessarily always on perfect time, so it's not like 100% reliable, but it is generally like every half hour, give or take 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's give or take 15 minutes on a half-hour schedule. You don't have a half-hour schedule.
But it's more within. It's still within like
schedule.
It's within a margin of error, but it's mostly like, all right, it makes sense that these people were later, these people were earlier, but it's usually half hour, like a good 75 to 80% of the time.
Okay.
But it's enough of
a half an hour gap, or they're half an hour rotation.
Every half hour, they rotate. Half of them rotate.
So how long is the difference between people being there and people not being there?
Well, so if they're
people always at the
hour,
people are always at the towers, but half the guards then traverse along the wall to then go to the next tower, so they can like
How
check
long
out
would
what's
you
on
say
those
it
sides of town.
takes to move from that tower to that tower?
15 to 20 minutes apparently.
At the rate that they go, let's go with let's go
5
with
minutes.
because let's go with
5 minutes?
I'm gonna roll a d20. 20 minutes.
Damn, that's
Alright.
terrible.
Because they're
job.
they're very diligent. That's what I was kind of rolling, is like how diligent are they, and they are making
Well, that's
sure that
okay,
each
'cause-
side of the wall is like pristine and no one is there. Nothing seems suspicious.
I mean, it works out fine for us. It means that if we wait for a group of guards to pass by, once they have passed by, we have anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes before the next group of guards is going to be around. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also
That's terrible security.
That's what I'm saying.
you have to get up the wall in the first place.
This is for the royal district itself.
Yeah, they think they're a little bit higher by me,
The
so.
central tower is like, there's like a guard per like every like 10 feet, just constantly looking out. That one is a no. They don't have sightlines perfectly to the outer wall. So there's a lot of places where, you know, the walls and areas that you can sneak around, but messing with the walls around the central tower it would be a lot tougher. If you're trying to get into there. That one also spans up, and the sun is on top of the tower, to remind you, like way up in the sky. But and there's also Fair Vahar as well, to remind you, that do fly along. So it's not just people walking and looking down. There's people flying over top as well. And the Fair Vahar guards tend to swoop down and kind of level with the wall as well, as they're passing around.
So Catalion is definitely. Oh, sorry. You go ahead first.
I was gonna say, I think we should probably go for like one of the towers and try to climb as soon as they move. We might.
Do we want to have like a group meeting at the end of the week to discuss our next moves?
Sure.
Just do that in character.
Yeah, I'd assume that that's okay. I'd assume that that's what's kind of happening now. Is after you've amassed all this knowledge and you kind of have general ideas on a bunch of the details, all of you get together, and the map with all of your notes has kind of been prepared, and all of your drawings and scratches, and roughly, you know, I think with what you've been able to tell, you've been able to tell as well that the theater kids and the wardens have kind of pushed back on their districts as well. I think you'd have on your rolls that I can freely give that information to you guys, and the rest is still gang controlled. Although one thing that you probably also have learned from that time is the gangs seem to be working together a lot more than you would expect them to be.
It's all duplicates.
Oh no.
I mean, to tell if it's a duplicate, that would definitely be a
Okay,
be a
when we
great
say
trick, but-
working together, are we meaning like in the gangs of people moving around, you got one member of Bogus Pogus, one member of Valhalla or Yalhalla, and like that? Or are we talking about like the Bogus Pogus and the Yalhalla guys, when they walk by, don't shoot at each other?
Meaning that they probably still
seeing
have
a
their
mixing?
There's some mixing. For the most part, it seems like the mixing tends to be on the people that are less experienced, whereas the people who are more experienced and have like their groups that they're good with seem to still be within their like different gangs already. But there does seem to be at the very least, a rough allyship between them, like an alliance between the remaining 7 gangs.
They're fighting the wardens, then they're team up, and then fight each other afterwards.
Throughout the entire city as far as you're aware.
Mm-hmm. Which is a deeper conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
I should have asked to get an idea of which all gangs, or do we know which all gangs are kind of associated with each area of the city by now?
It seems that I'll make you guys have whoever in the party you want. I'll let you guys make a check on that, whether it's heart kind of beating the streets, or a mind check. I'll let one of you in the party make that check.
What are we checking for? Exactly.
Who owns what parts of the streets? I'm gonna vote that you, Cruz, do that because you've got a network that can probably figure that stuff out.
I don't know. Am I able to let me do with advantage?
Okay, explain to me why it's with advantage. Besides just the network.
Well, I'm assuming I would be able to recognize the people within the streets and like probably roughly what gang they're part of. So if I see a whole bunch of them on like certain parts of the area, I'm assuming we have.
Would you mostly be watching them, or would you be asking questions?
A little both.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so you end up strolling up to one of your contacts, Slick Nick.
Oh, you're gonna make me roll.
He's yeah, I am. I'm gonna make you end up finding a meeting from kind of saying that you want. So you find where would you end up establishing a meeting place with this guy during this time? There's a couple taverns and inns that would probably still be available. There'd be alleyways, rooftops.
It would probably be by taverns, but the alleyway. You know?
You find a private, secluded alleyway that people seem to ignore. Slipped up Nick is he's there. He's there already. He's a short goblin guy that they works with the. He works more as kind of a mercenary informant already for a bunch of them. Is someone who kind of like detects and like appraises things. He's more freelance anyways. So hey Cruz, how's it going? What can I do you the honor of?
I was wondering if there's like a update on who's around, kind of ordering people around.
Who's around? I mean, everyone's around, you know?
You know what I mean.
Do I know what you mean? I don't know if I have the there's been a lot of chaos around lately, you know. It's not the sharpest thing.
Yeah, but you know which areas to avoid, which ones you could walk
Yeah,
through.
do you have something that could help me remember? Maybe something to help comfort me and calm me down in this chaotic time.
Well, I have a doubt some coin would help you, but if you want some.
Coin would be fantastic. I've just remembered little Jimmy, you know, slicked up Jimmy, my son. He broke his leg recently, you know, kind of really hurt it. The cost that I'm gonna need to with these conditions in these areas, I've only been able to find a way to help take care of him for around 1,000 deck, you know?
Well, you know, if it's really that bad, he goes come to my district. Couldn't be that.
It's too dangerous to transport him right now. He's and his mother wouldn't have it. She thinks, you know, our house is the safest place, you know. Slicked up Martha is not gonna let us go, you know?
Here, I'll give you 500 egg.
500? I could remember a little bit of things with 500.
You remember all of it.
Do a heart check. Do a heart check.
Okay, wait a second.
Full intimidation.
16, huh? So I'm sure you noticed there seemed to be a lot of division between gangs when they blew up the city originally, when they had the coordinated attack. It was definitely an alliance, but still individual. There seems to be a lot more of overlap now. They seem to be working together, you know? You'd almost say that the lines divided between them seems to be a lot of blurring. I think the districts are still in control of the same people, but whether or not the colors and flags that those leaders are and their people are a part of, there seems to be a lot more blending of them. If you catch my drift.
It is plain as we can see. I'm asking with a group, there's always a pack leader. Who might that be?
Pack leader? There's a lot of pack leaders.
Well, then give me a list.
A list? You want me to sell out people 500 deck? You want to give me a list? You want me to write it down?
You know I am. I'm not gonna let it slide.
For 500 deck? I know you're not gonna let it slide, but that's from if they caught on that I wrote their names down. That wouldn't just be me. That'd be me, my brother, my sister, my family, my second cousin. Hell, maybe even that guy that my sister once dated 18 years ago. I don't even know what happened to them. I don't know if I could do that, Cruz.
No one would know, and if they did, I'd kill them in spot, so...
Roll another heart check.
I know! Just give it to me!
Give me the answers.
I'm gonna need more than 500 deck if I'm gonna give you that much, okay? I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need a favor. A no questions asked favor, okay?
You don't know that. But favors from me have conditions. It doesn't matter.
Depends what kind of condition. It wouldn't be hurting nobody. I don't need anyone killed.
As long as it doesn't hurt nobody, no one I care about.
Well, it wouldn't be roughing anyone up. I need something. It was taken. You know, it's not where it belongs, you know?
Tell me what it is, and then we have an agreement.
I need you to agree to get it for me first. Before I even mention it. Because if someone else... Whoa, hey, after all we've done...
She is humanly possible.
After we've all
I get
we've
you
done...
to agree to the terms.
Look, I know it's not something... It's not something that if once it's taken... Like, how long have we known each other, you and me?
Well, apparently, you don't trust me to keep my mouth shut, so...
Okay, effectively right now, they're the kings of the city. They control the streets. There's a lot of suspicious things going on. There's some people that... Even some of this... I mean, I know... I heard you got introduced at the very least to Portacali. I've seen him a couple times in multiple places where he couldn't have been. I don't trust that we're always alone, you know? The man's found a way to teleport or something. And
it's made of goo.
I don't trust it, okay?
Understandable.
Like I need if this was normal days, I'd be okay. I need more. Okay, I need more assurance. I need more for my family for this, right? I'm sticking my neck out here for you, you know? My son. Like, it's his life on the line. I need more than that.
What 1,000 that could get you?
Not a lot these days. A lot of the inflation's real rough, you know?
How about this? I get someone from my district that you stay over there.
The missus wouldn't have it, okay? If...
You sure?
She would argue so much, and I can't leave it. If you get one of your people, some of your people, 5 of your people, to constantly be outside of my house, to constantly be watching over my son and my wife, then we got a deal.
That'd be much easier if you're not this.
Cruz, do you want to see this guy ever again? Is he useful to you?
He's a nice fellow.
Okay. Don't put 5 people as flag posts of this person here is someone you're looking for outside of his house. Just give him a safe house.
It's okay, I got it. No worries.
Okay.
Look, I can't promise you 5 people. I can get you a safe place if that's what you're wishing for.
Is it far? Because again, the missus. It's gotta be within walking distance of the park.
It's not too far, but again, I'd suggest going to my district for a permanent solution.
Okay. He takes out it's like, you got a piece of paper?
Yeah, I do.
All right. He takes out a piece of paper from his, and he's like, all right. He takes out a little quill and he just licks it, and he's like, all right.
Go at it.
How many? You wanted all of them?
No. The main ones. I don't want too many people coming after you. So just some of the people. You don't even have to give me their full names. Street names are fine.
Okay. Well, first off, he's the leader of Bogus Pocus. Maybe you've met him. His name is Stats. Here, I'll write it down in what you call the general chat. We got Stats. We got, your nice friend, Portacali. We got...
That my friend?
Yeah, your friend. He's the leader currently of the Serpent's Hand. He wrestled control away during this upheaval. He was still a high lieutenant, but he got the rest of the way. Now, I wish I could tell you anything about the Hidden, but they're hidden.
Yeah.
They in case you didn't know, if anyone sees any of their faces ever, they gotta kill. They gotta die, either by themselves or one of them, or they get hunted down. Like that. You ever see one of their faces, it's game over for them. I mean, they're gonna try to kill you first. They want to know witnesses thing still. So I got nothing on them. The coven is this lady, this large Jotun. I think she is. I don't know. No, she's large, but she's not a Jotun. I think she's a Sasanki actually. But her name's Felicia. Felicia, don't know the last name. Never been told. Just know Felicia. Bracken, formerly known as the Raccoon Gang. Their sect took over. That's been led by Jimmy Two Bits. By Jimmy Two Bits there. Y'all Hall. I mean, Y'all Hall kind of has a flat structure. A group of mercenaries. They've mostly been working for the Blood Clerics. And the Seven Skulls. It's Captain Shivers. He's still in control. But they're mostly out of towners and mostly at the docks. I don't know if they're necessarily gonna deal with them that much right now. But depending how far in they get, occasionally they try to get up the river a bit, but that's usually taken on by some of the royal guards. But the Blood Clerics, their head honcho. I don't think you're gonna like this. But you know how he died a month back, or approximately. Murray. I think his death was greatly exaggerated. I think he's back. That's what I hear. I haven't seen him.
His head was cut off. So help me if this man still lives.
But
he better be.
But I hear Murray's back, and that's
at least for this area. Is that it?
For this area? No, that's the city. They have their areas. Foe is still is mostly he's mostly Indian in the city. The kind of northwest, that tends to be. That's the Blood Clerics. I don't know if Murray's at the heart of that or not. Because the person who took over from Murray, I haven't been seeing them either. I'm not gonna give you their name because they're I give you that name. Blood Clerics.
You're good. Yeah,
they're scarier. Yeah. I'm just giving you the rumor that Murray might be back.
Just so you know, it's probably some other thing.
It might be someone using his name. I don't know. I do
Or
know
like
it's still a Blue Jadis.
Well, like something pretending to be him.
That's my hope. Considering how the rest of the brass went, I don't know about that though. But that's all I have. That's all I have. Now give me the address to the safe house, please. And I'm gonna go. I need to go there right now. I'm already
Very
scared.
well.
Thank you. And then he just breaks off in a sprint.
Okay.
Milo, just to make sure we got all of that. The Hidden, Don't Know, the Coven, Felicia, the Raccoon Gang, which is called the Racken?
Mm-hmm.
They call it the Racken though. That was a sect
Alright.
of them that took over. And that's
Alright,
that's
Jimmy Two Bits.
that's Jimmy Two Bits.
Yalhalla, Flat Structure Mercs, Seven
Yep.
Skulls is Captain Shivers, Blood Carricks, Murray is back. What was the seventh again?
The Hidden. You
The
said
Hidden.
nothing. Seven Skulls. Did you foe or stats for
Or
the
stats.
Focus Pocus? I have
Bogus
foe's
Pocus?
name in general chat too. Bogus Pocus with a B.
You know what's so
Bogus
funny? I have
Pocus.
not been spelling Portacoli like that at all. I guess that's how you spell it. Port. Collie.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, it might be.
Okay,
I think I
no.
misspelled it actually. It's supposed to be an O, not an A for that second one.
So Bogus Pogus
we go.
is faux or stats or portacoli?
Foe or stats. That's correct. Porto Collie, not Porta Collie.
Porto.
Portocoli.
Mm-hmm.
What is portocoli for?
That's the serpent's hand.
You not remember
The
Portacoli?
serpent's hand.
Yeah, they're a cult.
Thank you.
Do you remember Portacoli?
Hey, you remind me. You need a reminder of my theory that I ran past you a little while ago, bro?
Yeah, no, I remember your theory. I just forgot that they were called the serpent's hand. Okay.
The one
Alright.
that's trying to raise up the snake from the underground? Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we now know who all the leaders are, and that basically everyone is sharing territory. That's not great.
Okay. With that,
Do you make your way back to the safe house?
no, I think we're moving.
Yeah. Okay. So all of you are now met above the table. Feeling like the information gathering and a lot of the scoping out things. Seems like you finally have enough to prepare. I mean, you could always prepare more, but seems like you have enough to start trying to make a plan. All of you above the table. Timothy looking on and kind of bored as he's leaning down, kicking his legs. How do you guys want to start this?
All right.
Catalian puts the map on the table. Me and Eyes have been looking at this, and I think we may have a plan.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear it.
All right. So, thanks to Eyes, we've been able to figure out more or less what these guard rotations look like. Now, as far as I can tell, the best point of entry is actually going to be through the Gilded District. There used to be gates there, which means that there's a chance that the stonework of the walls doesn't actually go down to the foundation level. They would have just filled it in. They may not have actually buried the stone. If that's the case, then we can sneak under the wall rather than actually having to go over it. We know guard rotations, we can time our moves right, and this also means that we get to meet up with some, hopefully, allies. Now, we've heard, well, goodness knows, we've heard the explosions from here, but from the sounds of it, Warden and Dominic, the real Dominic, let's hope. Wow, I'm slowly becoming Imperial. Whoops.
You're slowly becoming warden.
I'm hoping that that means that they have established some kind of property there, that we can get into their territory, maybe make some allies, get properly equipped for this sort of venture, and then we can make our move.
I don't know if that's a great idea. Mostly because there's constant fighting in that area.
Well, there's going to be constant fighting in most places once we start making a move.
From what I heard, Captain Shivers might be able to cause a ruckus somewhere along the river. We can use that as a distraction to try to get underneath the water and get through.
Well, there's the other consideration we have to make, which is the little one.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable with bringing him with us on this kind of mission.
I want you to give me an essence check. Catalion.
Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will do that for you.
What are you talking about? Every young adult needs to, go on an adventure or two before they...
He's not even a young adult. He's 14. What they want to do with their lives. And unlike the Rick Riordan books.
Was he 14? Wasn't he 11?
He was 11.
Oh, there you go. 11. Even younger.
I mean, he's a satyr.
That would be a natural 20 for a 29.
Dylan, what is up with you today?
I don't know, but
have you been making a deal with Zinch?
I'm just scared for him because the moment that we actually need him to roll high, he's gonna roll low.
It's gonna be right in combat when things go wrong.
As you say the little one, you make eye contact with Timothy. You
experience fear for the first time.
Oh, Italians had fear.
You have before sensed magic. You have known from your past various arcane structures, realms, spells, and fields, and you have felt the push and pull of the arcane.
Yes.
Those ones tugged on your fingers, your pines, your leaves.
Okay.
Never before have you felt one of those fields, those arcane fields, pull on your very mind and soul. You see something inside of this young person that even in the presence of Hades, I don't think you felt his aura of magic as much as you do this young satyr.
Okay.
I'll keep watch on him. I'll watch over him while we do it. It'll be fine.
Quick question. Does the magic addict in the room also get a detection on this?
If you want to roll one, I'll let you roll it with, considering why this is happening, disadvantage.
Okay. So, 2 essence checks.
17. You pick up a little bit of a flare from, I was about to call him Gregory. I have FNAF on the mind. Timothy. Gregory. You're my superstar, Gregory.
Also, Catalion does not change his statement, or he gives Timothy a look for sure, but he's still fairly adamant on this.
I agree that it's kind of dangerous for Timothy to come along, but if anything happens, in a drop of a hat, I'll have Thea and Wander come pick him up.
Why not just have them look after him right now?
Well, why don't we ask Timothy? Timothy, if you want to go home?
Timothy, before you're doing that, kind of was looking a little bit at Catalion, but he's face pushed into his arm, like the kid that's just bored, so desperately bored at being in this house with no toys, nothing to draw with, not much to do. And all of you have been planning and everything and busy, and he's just so bored.
We should have given him over to Thea and the others a while ago. They could actually entertain him and take care of him properly.
He's the one who wanted to tag along. I'm not gonna. He would have tagged along if he didn't like stay. So I'd rather be able to actually see him. Is there something talking?
Yep.
What is that?
Something that you're playing. So I'm just gonna stop that.
Thanks.
Are you going to be doing anything in light of that currently?
So are we keeping the boy or not? Because
Well, Timothy, do you want to come along or do you want to go home?
Timothy kind of shrugs. He's not 100% sure.
Timothy,
then.
Be a fun adventure.
will be
You
interesting.
You don't... Rock, shut up. Listen.
I mean, I've seen kids his age burn down entire armies. It's no,
I
not a
started the
thing.
army. Oh, sorry. I started the army in like.
Italian just slowly turns and he is not impressed with everyone interrupting him. Listen, Cruz. I understand that you want what's best for Timothy. And you're not wrong. If we're gonna go and try to break into this place the best way I know how, then we're gonna be having to push through a front line. I've never seen a front line before. I've read about them. I've been in skirmishes, but nothing like this. I don't want to bring a kid there. I don't want to go there myself. But I'm here to help.
Oh, are we
And I'm
going
here
to the
to...
front lines?
If we're going to be pushing in to meet with Warden and Dominic, which I've wanted to do already, and this just seems like a great way to kill two birds with one stone, pardon the saying, guys.
It's fine. I've heard it a long time.
Lucian kind of somehow finds muscles in his face to kind of frown at you and kind of scowl, and then kind of looks up at the air indignantly.
Small birds. Annoying ones.
Okay, that seems more directed. No, never mind. Never mind. Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm making it worse. I think it would be best to leave Timothy with people that you trust. Because the other alternative is if he comes with us, we're bringing him right back into Warden territory. And as much as I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, you definitely have an opinion on that.
Yeah, we're not going to Warden territory. Very well, I'll send for Thea and Wander to get Timothy out of here, but I still think that we shouldn't go to the front lines to try using the river at least.
Well, there are a few ways that we could try to be clever about it. But it all depends on a few key factors. I won't lie, I've spent a long time as a city guard. It's actually quite exciting to be able to kind of see this from a new perspective.
You're welcome.
Well, you can take a look once we're inside if you want to see the front lines, but I still suggest we use at least the river and the docks to try to get through.
Well, I don't disagree that having a distraction would be ideal. I don't think we're working in an ideal scenario. I was thinking entering, if you look at this map here, he gestures with his hand, right here. This would be pretty much exactly where I would go through.
The only problem with your plan is you're expecting that we get through everything else without any trouble, without the wardens thinking more enemies, or the gangs.
Well, I can tell you right now, if we get into Warden territory, then at the very least I can make sure we're treated as friends.
I don't think that's going to happen for me.
If you're with me, then yeah, you will.
Recollection of Warden
Chris...
basically going onto the street and demanding an audience. Flashbacks in the mind.
Chris is just like, I highly doubt it.
I need to meet up with Warden at some point.
You can go ahead and do that if you want to.
Have you ever told us why? Out of curiosity.
I have. I've said essentially what. So up till this point, essentially, Catalian has talked with Cruz actually several times about meeting Warden, and in the past, Cruz was okay with it because Dominic and Warden are now allied, and things have hit the fan enough that before you were kind of on board with it, Cruz. I don't know if maybe in a week, something else has happened that has changed your mind. But
I was on board with meeting with Dominic. I don't believe with Cruz. I mean, with
yeah,
Warden,
I don't recall Cruz ever being on board with the whole
Warden
thing.
Not with like being buddy with him, but like just like getting close enough to the Dominic Warden territory because they're working together.
I don't remember that anything. I remember wrong. I remember Dominic. Right. I don't remember Warden being a thing. I think you wanted Warden. I said no.
You very much wanted Warden. Cruz was very much against Warden. You were like, okay. Currently, our mutual interests are a little bit more aligned.
I thought the middle ground we came to is that as long as Dominic's there to like also mediate discussion, and that Cruz doesn't have to do anything Warden says, which Catalian was fine with.
Problem is, I don't think with everything that's happening that either of them will be too keen on having a civilized conversation.
Now is the perfect time to have a civilized conversation. There are far bigger things at work in this city than dealing with past grievances.
Greg looks outside the window. It's on fire.
Here's the thing. From what I know about Warden, he's a prideful fellow. I highly doubt that he will be as friendly towards me after learning about a couple things I've done.
Well, should I know a few things about what you've done?
Depends on what exactly you want to know. Things that won't get you killed? Sure.
Would you really kill me right now with all this going on just because I knew something that you did in the past?
It depends on if it threatens or not.
From my experience with her, yes. Sorry, boss. That's the truth.
That's fine. Look, she pulls out her sword. This is a wooden sword. I won't tell you exactly how I got it, but let's just say he treats these like babies. Me having it around, I'd probably get killed on sight.
Alright, so here's a crazy idea. Do you have literally any other swords that you'd like to use when we go over there? And you can pick that fancy one up later?
Can I cast Shattering Slice where you can see the frost on the sword?
Yep, 100%.
Do I have to roll? Yeah.
Nope. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I'm gonna make you frost up the sword.
Nice. So Cruz just like, I think it's supposed to put an essence into it, and the sword like starts glowing this snowy blue, and there's like frost and cold coming off of it. This is a very dear sword. It's my sword.
Do I need to do a check to be able to tell that she did that to the sword and not the sword itself doing it?
It's also the kind of sword.
I mean, I think Victoria at this point would also just be like, "Oh, you enchanted it."
Okay. Catalian's just gonna sit down and be like, "And you could do that to any sword."
Not particularly to the level this one can.
You're telling me that you'd rather jump off a waterfall than pick up a different sword? You're telling me Warden's the prideful one, and you haven't even offered a potential compromise.
I never said I wasn't prideful.
He like full on like buries his head in both hands.
Look, this sword that you claim can be any other sword is a Warden sword. It shows what I can do. Also, this sword can, I'm not gonna say that part, but kill Wardens. You know, with the heavy armor and everything.
All right. So you killed wardens in the past. There's a lot of people out there killing wardens in the moment.
Yeah, but I've been doing it for years.
Just for the heck of it?
No. Whenever they were just a little out of line.
Milo, was I around when Warden was like demanding to see Cruz?
What do you mean with Catalion?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay, then Catalion has no idea. From what I've heard of Warden, he will hear things out. But if you think that's too big of an issue, how about this? Instead of pushing into Warden territory, we go to Dominic's. And then we talk to Dominic. And if Dominic thinks it's okay that we talk to Warden, then we talk to Warden. If not, he can at least, because he's an ally of Warden, from what we have heard, he can get us into that territory without any wardens. And then we go through the gate, like I said, no wardens involved.
Victoria's gonna kind of like clear her throat. If I might, we did
Absolutely, please.
we did try to go to Dominic's, and we have been trying to find him. We don't know where we hear rumors that he's around, but we haven't been able to find him.
Wait, did we go all the way down to the theater and then leave all the way across the entire city to go back to a safe house?
Yeah.
He wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there. He was caught by, and there was a duplicate, so there was like, oh, that's.
And we haven't heard anything about like Dominic being real or people being upset that a duplicate was in Dominic's area?
No one seems to be aware that there is a copy duplicate. They just know that everyone's just like, yeah, he's off fighting and doing stuff. Like whenever you try to ask. But it doesn't seem like anyone's specifically seen him.
Yeah. Can you reach out to Dominic personally, Cruz?
I can try, but
you got like a signal?
Usually my snowstorm is a good enough signal, but I highly doubt that we'll be able to see.
Can you can you make the clouds into shapes?
No. I can sense my bird if you want, but I need something that Dominic had for my bird to track him down.
Catalion's going to look meaningfully at the flower vase off in the corner. I don't know if she would still have those, but
at the safe house, probably not. I would assume.
Not this house. Not this one.
No. Nor was he there. That was like a one-on-one meeting between them.
Oh, okay, fair enough. It's hard remembering everything that
has happened.
I know versus everything that Catalion knows versus everything I know. Alternatively, we just try to sneak past the wardens as well, and just end up in their territory without them knowing about us and without any chance of potentially making friends.
Yeah, but then you're trying to fight through not only one territory, but then you're trying to get into
I agree. It sounds like a terrible idea.
It sounds like a terrible idea. Instead of just going through one wall and then ending up there.
Alright.
You know what? You guys can take it on to a vote. Let me know what you guys decide. I'm going to get Timothy somewhere safe.
Perfect. I was about to just ask. As Greg, you've been quiet. Victoria, you have a say in this too.
I'm going to get his attention.
Are you just gonna send Gem out, or
yeah?
Do you have like a snowstorm? Okay, yeah, you get her attention, and not after long, you see
Can I have hilarious? Should bring hilarious.
What?
I mean, what would probably be standard for this is like if you're getting their attention to come this far, it'd probably just be Wanderer who just come fly over, right?
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, respect to the table conversation.
I mean, just from what I've heard of Warden, he's kind of scary.
It's generally not someone you want to ever really meet, but like, if we gotta, we gotta.
He's
Well, here's our two options as far as I have been able to figure it out. I know we've been here for a week trying to gather information. Things have not gotten much better in that week.
Nope.
Cruz's idea I don't like because there's too many things that have to go right for it to work. One, we'd have to be entering over here on the waterfall side.
I was suggesting over here, actually. Over by one of the towers instead.
You're just thinking going over the wall.
I'm thinking like this area right here.
Alright. We have, at that point, well, we don't want to cross near a tower. That's one of the worst possible things we could do. We might as well, if we're going to cross a wall, the smartest thing that we could possibly do at that point is cross here.
Okay.
Right next to where Boak is. Minimal time spent on the wall between the towers where there's going to be the least number of guards and the least number of eyes on us, and the fastest way possible to Boak. The problem is, in order to do that, we have to swim a kilometer across a river.
Is not to scale.
It is not to scale.
How big is this river?
How wide's the bow on average?
The bow?
Mm-hmm.
You're probably looking at 50 meters.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like the bow, which is still and decently fast still.
And it's flowing down to the ocean?
Yeah.
Okay. So the waterfall then is coming out of the here going down. Okay.
And where I made the circle, that's where the waterfall is, and then because that would just be a vertical slice there, and then it goes.
Okay.
There's more river rapid stuff there.
Yeah. All right. So we have to swim across a river. Then we have to climb a wall. Milo, what kind of wall is this? You were talking about magical wall, which I presume is not exactly like filled with cracks and stuff to climb up.
So they for this specific wall, I think the inner wall is like completely like earth magic, like, you know, earthbender has made vertical slice of smooth like marble all the way up. Like that one's a nice wall. This one is probably nicer than the outer wall, but probably had a lot more some magic going into it, but it was definitely a lot more I'd probably say like brick for sure. These are like very large bricks. They're probably
and
quite
how tall is the wall?
well crafted. I'd probably say 30 to 40, between 30 and 40 feet.
So in other words, if it's a 2-story building on the other side, that building is overhanging the wall. Almost.
Or the wall would be taller.
The wall is about 3 to 4 stories tall, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's also on a mountain, to be fair. Like this with the layers of brown getting darker are kind of
topography.
Very, very rough, kind of just general hints at topography. So I think I'd say the cliffs beneath it are probably another additional 30 feet before the wall even starts.
Okay, this seems like a lot.
So we've got a 7-story tall wall, essentially.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, you can give me. That's too much. Ugh. It's too much headache.
That besides going through an army and then another army.
Yeah.
We're only ever crossing one front line. And
Yeah.
I don't plan on going across the bridge. I was planning on swimming across the river.
I'm just saying, if we talk to the gang leader about the ports, I'm sure he'd be more than happy for us to infiltrate the royal district.
Alright. Here's the issue I have with that. One, we need to go and associate with one of the gangs that's ruining the city. Got some issues with that. Two, he has to then not rat us out to the other gangs who are all working together. I don't know if you noticed, but you're a gang leader, as far as I've been able to piece together. You weren't invited to that meeting.
I could have been invited, I just felt like I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's cute. You weren't invited to that meeting. So, why on earth would he want to help us infiltrate the district unless you got a lot of money or a lot of clout or a lot of something that he wants? And then are you willing to spend all of that as opposed to crossing what is now we know to scale 50 meters of ground?
Look, fine. If we decide to go that way, just can't get mad at me for whatever I do.
Oh,
We'll improvise.
disappeared.
Mhm.
Oh, all the notes. Whoops, that was not my intention. I was like,
No, it's okay.
I just realized I'm
I
like,
already had
hey,
a screenshot.
I could actually make it to scale is what or to the 50-meter scale. I don't know if everything else is to scale roughly within each other, if it's the right proportions, but at the very least, if you are using using a measuring tool, now it's like, that is 50 meters.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm okay with a vote. You guys can decide. I'm just saying, we go the other way, can't get mad at me for what I do.
That sounds like
Just
the
so
least.
I understand what's going on, because I won't lie, I've mostly just been playing with Timothy the last while. So what are the voting options?
Go on.
Well, actually, I would like to hear Cruz. You tell me what the two options are, so I can make sure we're on the same page here.
Right? I was suggesting we use the river and the port gang, cause a distraction, maybe hitch a ride, to infiltrate the royal district. I'm pretty sure, like a good 80%, that they would more than happy to help us. If not, we could still use them as a distraction. Or, as Italian
I
must
cannot hear Cruz.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm a little too far. So we can either use the port gang and try to go through the river.
I think your mic's picking up your fan a lot.
Oh, is it?
I think that's
I'm
what's
so
starting to
sorry.
happen. Yeah.
Okay.
My computer
Well,
isn't warm.
I'll go ahead and explain to Greg. So essentially, the two choices are cross over here, right behind Boak, and then climb a 7 to 8 story wall after we swim across a river, and then drop right down on Boak's spot. The alternative is to move through the city and get to somewhere along this border where the gangs are bordered up against the wardens, and then to see if we can't find a spot that's kind of quiet on that front line, get over to the wardens, because Catalion is pretty certain that he's able to at least pass the party off as friends and ensure some kind of diplomatic immunity. And then whether we work with the wardens or simply do our job without them helping becomes a little bit messier from there. But essentially, we would then go under either this gate here or more likely this gate here. Because they're a filled-in gate, which means that there's a good chance that we can just dig a little bit underground, and they won't have actually filled it down, filled the gap down into the earth. And then once we're in the Royal District, then we can sneak our way to Bowoks. But we might gain some allies in the Wardens.
Okay, here's another option. Sewer.
The Victoria is going to kind of pop up and just be like, the sewer is heavily guarded, right? Isn't it? Isn't that what we found out?
From my study,
And barred?
I believe I found that was very not. You didn't mention it, so I presume that meant that it's not only well guarded, but also involves us going through the Undercity and that unpleasantness.
The sewer would be separate from the Undercity.
Okay, so
It's kind of in between the top city and the Undercity.
Yeah,
there's probably
very
entrances.
unpleasant.
Yeah.
All right, and would it be a possible entry? A reasonable entry, perhaps, is a better way of phrasing that.
If you can get through the bars and find a way to deal with, at minimum, 10 Royal District guards, kind of guarding the entrance, then yes. You wouldn't know about their cycles. You just kind of generally know that they have roughly 10 stationed per grate at this point. And that would also be like 5 on each side of the bars, specifically.
Okay. Yeah, Italian would
Why
be...
in the world are the Royal Guard wasting resources holding a sewer?
That's because they're trying to stop people like us from doing things like what we want to do.
I think
know their guard
Maybe,
schedule.
I don't know, restoring order or something?
The Serpent's Hand is also... Serpent's Hand also is like known to have like headquarters in the sewers.
Yeah.
They're sewer dwellers for sure.
That's more of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The sewers are a lot of unknowns. It's better than I think it's still better than going all the way to the port and traversing that much of the city on the hope that we can get a gang that we aren't affiliated with to help us. Especially when our end goal is to eventually, oust them from the city.
Or was that their end goal? Oh, like I said, you guys can put it to a vote.
So we have either tried to befriend a gang or
Befriend the cops. When you're putting...
We don't necessarily have to befriend the Wardens. I would like to talk with them. I think they could be an ally, but from the general sense that I'm getting, y'all aren't super interested in that.
You don't say.
What Victoria's gonna pipe up and just be, what makes you think that the Wardens could become allies? You seem very confident for someone who isn't a part of this city or doesn't have a home here.
Someone who Warden owes a big favor to.
Oh, when did you say that was?
so you're going to blackmail him?
No,
Well,
I'm gonna call in a favor.
Okay, that increases my confidence.
Why did you not lead with this?
Yeah, like quickly.
Blackmail? Always.
Blackmail the cops, of course. That was on my bucket list.
Yes, we're gonna blackmail
Seriously,
the Wardens.
lead
That's
with
my
the
plan.
important information.
I'm sorry, I thought I had made that clear when I said that I can communicate with the Wardens and make us
No,
friends.
that basically just reads as, I am quite certain that I can deal with the cops. But I am quite certain I can deal with the cops, and I am quite certain I can deal with Warden are two very different things.
Yeah.
All right. I have leverage with Warden.
Okay.
Ergo, I have leverage with the whole order.
Yeah. Now you're speaking language.
You should have led with that.
Yeah.
Hence why
Literally
I
everybody
think it's a good idea to try to break through the gang line and just get into Warden territory, because as soon as I can talk to a Warden, I can hopefully get... Well, one, I'll probably end up meeting the Warden, which is something that my employer has been trying to have me do for some time now. like I said
Who is
when
your
I first
employer?
arrived,
Alright.
confidential.
First off, it sounded like you were gonna try to win over the wardens by simply talking to them in a very charismatic way. So, and you're not a very charismatic person.
I'll have you know that since last week, I have become much more charismatic.
He now has a
Oh
2
my
in heart.
I feel like my personal character and the whole goal of my existence has been focused in these past few days.
Very well, sounds like we have planned, so let's just head on out.
All right. Milo, does that count as a personal issue resolved peacefully?
No.
Are you trying to farm your stupid little gimmick?
No.
You're telling me that that's okay. I'll accept that.
No, because the only reason we're doing it is because you're like, oh, I have a favorite college.
Because you are also part of probably equally as part
Oh,
of the
that's true.
miscommunication. That'd be
I was part of the personal conflict. All right.
Yeah.
I understand that. I think that's fair.
mm-hmm.
All
It needs
right.
to be stuff that you're not one of the members of.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fair enough. That's good to know.
You
And
need to
remember
be a
for later.
peacemaker for other people.
So you guys are I'd say this is roughly still a little bit before probably around 10 if you guys are wanting to were you guys wanting to set out or were you guys wanting to
We set out. Where
Well,
we're going?
it's probably going to be dangerous in the streets. Actually, with that in mind, have we been targeted in the streets at all? Like, does it seem like the gangs know about us and want us out of the picture, or would we just be like average Joe citizens?
Oh,
by and large you don't seem to be someone who's targeted on sight. Victoria and Greg kind of depends, but for the most part, I don't think most of the gangs really know about. Cruz, I think, knows that if she was seen, that she would be targeted and fought against. And Eyes has been associating with Cruz very closely recently, and knows it wouldn't be the safest for him either. To be seen by
Alright.
stuff. I think for a lot of people, you just look like a Glade Runner with a sword. They don't really know you. They maybe have known that you've done a couple bouts around the city or something. There may be a rumor about some Glade Runner, but them to connect that to you is, I think, still a stretch, considering you've been here for not too long.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. And that's also why Victoria got her stealth stuff, is because then she can not be spotted as the person who used to be, 10 to Mare Margaret, hand, foot, and knee.
Okay. I was about to say we should leave now so we can, make it there safely by nightfall, but it's 400 meters, which, if we were to jog, should take us less than 2 minutes. So,
Should be fine.
how about we wait until evening?
It's not to scale.
But you just said it was to scale.
I said it's not to
15 meters.
scale. I said the river
okay.
was to scale.
Oh, okay.
No, I have a question.
Wait, how can the river be to scale, but the rest of it's not?
Because I actually made the river way too thick. Because I just used an eraser on one top layer and just went whoop to make the shape.
Okay.
And this is a very work in progress
Fair enough.
map.
Okay.
But yeah.
Question.
Hello.
For Cruz, people wouldn't really know her face, would they? Unless she has a snowstorm going on.
No, but they know her cloak and they know I think they know she's a purple Jadis, and I think a lot of the gangs have been updated on that so far. I think you'd be safe from like guards and wardens and citizens kind of like picking up on you, and maybe safe from like low level thugs. But besides like literal like low level street level
They would still be targeting me?
like I think they would recognize you. There's a decent amount that would probably avoid you, but would also kind of like, they would still report that, hey, there was a Cruz sighting here. I didn't want to mess with her, but so I think you would be sneaking through the streets if you didn't disguise yourself.
In that regard, knowing the map of the city, because I've been studying things in general, how long do I think it's going to take us to get to the river crossing here between gang territory and warden territory?
I'd still probably say 40 minutes to an hour.
40 minutes to an hour. Okay.
Mhm.
I recommend one. We'll wait for Thea to come up over and pick up Timothy. We can get ourselves prepared, run over this plan a couple of times,
Mhm.
and sort out a few things if we're going to be doing this.
As you say that, you see the door down. Oh, let me actually just activate and force everyone back here.
Perfect.
You see the door below here, right below the table, kind of like
Arcade missiles, no.
inch open, and you see a hand pushing it open, and someone slowly stepping through.
I'm going to send Lucian to the roof to make sure no one tries to grab him. So it'll just be like in the eaves.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes there?
Hi, it's Cruz. Hi, Cruz. How's it going? You see this strange kind of younger Fairvahar, and like, hey, you still with the bird guy, and that's some sick armor there. Did we meet? Rock, you look familiar. Did we?
I think you
I have no idea.
The less you know is
Hi,
probably
hi.
the better.
I'm Wander. Hey, Timothy. How's it going, guys?
Wait,
You guys
Greg,
preparing for mission here?
Yeah, we are. But
Right.
Timothy
I'm
seems-
going to do an insight magic to make sure he doesn't smell of spoiled milk.
Okay.
Because that is possibly the worst thing that could happen right about now.
He's good. He doesn't seem suspicious at all.
He's clean.
We are heading out. But Timothy's kind of bored. I think I'll just go home and play with the kids.
So you don't need extra hands for this mission or extra wings at all? No eyes in the sky or knives in a hand or talons?
It's all right, I'm here.
Just a babysitter?
Wander. The state of everything
I
is,
have the impression he's insulted.
You should be God in our district
I was. You signaled.
because it was an emergency.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into a very dangerous situation.
Mhm,
That means
mhm.
making someone safe.
I-
I'm entrusting this boy, very important kid, in your hands.
I know. He's a cool kid. I like him. Nothing against the kid. I just, Thea. I could get him to Thea. Thea could take care of him and I could come help out.
Yeah, Catalion's gonna come over for a bit and put a hand on Wanderer's shoulder and just kind of like, not whisper in his ear creepily, but just be like.
He definitely looks at you like, why are you touching me?
He goes to put his hand on the guy.
Don't
and
worry,
then realize,
he's just weird.
And then when he looks at him, puts his hand in. Sorry, I grew up in a different culture. I cannot stress this enough, Wanderer. The reason that we need someone we can trust to take care of this kid, there potentially, from what little I and all of us have been able to figure, most of what's happening in this city right now, he's part of it. Not like a bad part of it, but like there are forces out to get this kid.
Yeah.
And
I know. I've been updated on that, yeah.
Cruz has not let him out of her sight this whole time. So the fact that she's even willing to let this kid go with you, I hope that you realize how big of an opportunity and what that says about not only how important it is. I know it's not fun to be a babysitter.
He sighs and he just starts storming and stomping and pouting. He's like, fine. Come on, Timothy. I'm going to fly you to the Shield District.
Wander, hold up.
Yeah.
Wanting to drop off Timothy, come find me. Wherever Jen leads you. You can be our eyes in the sky if you want.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can be there
Yeah.
to fight. Yeah, to fight. We're gonna fight. Yeah.
well, but you know the rule. If it gets too tough, you leave.
Ain't nothing too
We're-
tough for me. Come on,
We're
Timothy.
really hoping not to fight. Actually, it's
Yeah.
mostly avoiding fighting.
And he walks out the door. He's like, yeah, and goes with Timothy, and then
It's
You can tell Cruz looks very, very proud, but
we're so screwed if we get caught.
do a quick mind check here, Catalion.
Excellent. I am intelligent. Apparently so.
17. You definitely know that this is like, how old was Wander? Like 17, 18-year-old Farfahar. Definitely like very young, but you can also tell by the way he stands and dressed and everything, very well trained as well. But
Oh,
also,
yeah.
but also like enough to be like, are you really an adult? Yeah, you're kind of a kid, kind of an adult.
Yeah, he's 17, 18. At that point, the kid might as well be running his own farm. I'm fine with that. This is
Okay.
He grew up in a different culture, breed, time period.
Actually, speaking of, he like looks at you guys. So like pats on the back, handshakes. Is that not a thing that you guys do?
Wander wouldn't take it from you. If I gave him a pat on the head, he'd
I
be.
think it's weird too that they don't do that anymore, and that they.
If I gave him a pat on the head, he'd be like completely happy for the rest of the day. So, I think it depends on who's giving it.
If I even looked at someone wrong in Congress, there's a chance that I might have been executed. So anything for even touching, I don't even know.
Extremely depressing.
Well, no, see, that I understand. That's a different kind of situation. This was a casual among people that could be trusted with the life of arguably the most important person in the room. Hence why I thought I could take the liberty, but I see now that that's not how it works.
Also a stranger, though.
Yeah. Also, Catalion, I don't think he would listen to you no matter what. He's kind of a stubborn kid.
Well, he's a kid, so that would make sense.
Yeah. Very promising kid, though.
I believe it. He still took responsibility. He whined about it, but that's every first few years, becoming an adult. They want to go straight to the top of what they see as the most adult thing to do.
He's doing a lot better. He used to sneak off a lot, so. Anyways, we should probably head out.
Yeah, about that, we probably want to cross at sunset.
Why?
Well, because then the light is poor. It's enough for us to see by, but it's not enough for somebody who's taking shots at us to get a clear image of us.
Yeah, but aren't you trying to befriend the wardens? Don't you want them to be able to see you?
Yeah, but I don't want the gang members that we're going to have to go through to see me.
No, they're fine. They're not that bad.
I mean, we could just do this then. If y'all are ready to do this, I guess we could just do this. I'm used to a little bit more prep time.
Well,
generally, the more we plan, the less we find out we actually knew about the area in general.
Well, I'm not talking about like, and then we're gonna get to this building and take a ride. I mean, like, if we all get split up, where do we go?
Oh, I was more talking about the fact that it's like, and by the way, there's a couple like possessed creatures or whatever.
Oh yeah, to be clear, we can't plan against those kind of things. I mean, like general overarching things, like where do we come back here? If everything falls apart and we get split up, we come back here. Yay or nay?
If you want, I could also just track all of you down. Or you guys can combine, but I don't know.
All right. The worst possible scenario happens. Cruz, you're taken captive or dead. You tracking us down will not help the rest of us find each other again.
Well, can I get a gem in here?
Yep. Let me go find. There's the gem token. Boop. Character, and let's share gem with you. I do not have gem's character sheet ready, but
That's fine. I'm not using it for anything.
Yep.
You guys see this? It's a thunderbird. It looks kind of like a bird, but also like a little bit of reptile. It does have 4 legs, but wings. It's actually somewhat small. It can still sit on Cruz's shoulders, but it's probably the size of a cat. Cruz is like, this is Gem. She's always in the sky. She'll always be able to find me. If I have something of yours, I can track you down. And she, if you ever see her, I'm probably not that far. She only comes down from really high up if I'm needing someone to find me.
Fantastic. If you die, it still doesn't help us.
If I die, there will be a bigger problem than trying to find each other.
All right. If something goes wrong, how about we all just plan on meeting here? And if that doesn't work out, Cruz finds each of us. Are we all okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. So, some of us are going to try to travel a little bit more incognito. I can pretty much walk more or less in the street. One thing. If I die, plant the sword that I have in the earth.
Can I keep
Oh
it?
no.
No.
Does it do something special,
Can
or
I
is it
eat it?
like a ritual thing?
You cannot eat the sword. No. This is on loan. You do not want to mess with the guy who wants to collect it again.
All right, we'll take your word for that.
Just plant it in the ground. It'll take care of itself.
Woefully terrifying. Cool.
And I might be back. I don't know.
Immortal?
I think that's an important detail.
Okay.
Are you immortal? Should I know if you're
I'm
immortal
not.
or not?
No, I'm not immortal. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if I go, I'm gone.
So what are
Yeah,
the
I shouldn't
odds?
say that. No, now that I think about it, sorry, that was a dumb thing to say. No, I'm gone. Someone might. If you see the sword again after you put it in the ground and it goes away, you can probably trust whoever comes back with it. But it won't be me. I made a deal. So, does anyone else have
Sounds like
any
you made
other?
a rather bad deal.
He's gonna smile and wink at Greg, and then he's going to.
That doesn't answer the question.
Does anyone else have any last wish things?
If you're
that
that
they
bad
want
at
off
making
their
deals, why
chests?
should we go to the wardens?
Yeah, I wanted the deal I got. Trust me.
It's blackmailing cops. You gotta do it once.
Okay, we should probably get going.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get going then.
Alrighty
In the
then.
spirit of one of the players that once played for me, Milo, we're there. I'm just kidding.
I understood that reference.
Is Gem going away again now?
Yep.
Or is Gem staying? Okay. Good job. Control C.
I'm gonna put her in the. I have to get to show her cute little art. She's adorable.
Activate Control V. Whoop.
To be clear, are we just kind of like walking in the street in general?
I'm just
Yeah,
putting you
especially
here in
as
this
people
map.
that.
If you want to be walking in the street here, this seems to be a good path forward. No matter what, you got to walk
And-
down some kind of street, right?
Yeah. How is this immediately outside of the place?
We can, for the sake of it, if you want to be immediately outside, it can be. Otherwise, it is still just along the way. Yeah,
I did not mean to do that.
that's fine. I can.
I was just gonna say that that Catalian would be trying to talk with whoever would be willing to talk with him, and be like, "All right, how about we have a few phrases, just little things that we can say that help us know what kind of situation we're in case one of us sees something that another one doesn't." Would that be acceptable to everyone?
Yeah, fun.
All right. If things look like we're about to get attacked by something, what's a word that we don't generally use that's still innocent enough that no one's going to notice us saying it?
Bazinga.
Spoons.
Spoons?
Mhm.
Spoon.
All right. Actually, I like that. Okay. So, spoons means imminent danger.
Cool.
Or how about spoons means possible danger, because it's kind of soft, but it could get bad.
Sure.
What about fork? Or imminent
Fork
danger?
can be imminent danger.
What about spork?
We're not going to go that far.
Unknown.
We're going. How? Oh, actually, nah,
Indeterminate danger.
no.
It's
That's what spoons is. Spoons is if we think that there might be something going wrong. Fork means that something is about to go wrong. What if we wanted to ensure that everyone knew that things were okay?
spork.
Knife.
Okay, I feel like we might be leaning into cutlery here just a little too much.
I was gonna
I
suggest
said
yeah,
human.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Cruz? That sounded good.
I was gonna say maybe we can say the name of a flower. I don't know.
All right, daffodil.
Oh, okay.
All
Daffodil
right.
means we're safe and good.
I'd like
Okay.
Lucian to
Alright,
make a perception check.
That's about all I wanted to establish. I think with that, we can be okay.
Milo, what did you say?
I'd like Lucian specifically to make a perception check.
Cool. He's good at those.
We are not okay.
Well, he's actually quite good at those, so he should be fine.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Is your perception not? I mean, it's a 29 anyways, but technically one of them was an 8, and that should have rolled more. I'm gonna fix that real quick. That's proficient. 3d8x. Roll an extra d8 for the lulz, because you have another
Cool.
d8 because you rolled an 8.
4.
4. 33 then. There we go. Yeah, that was a really good roll. Yeah, you realize that not long after you've been talking here in the street outside, you notice someone
Watching us?
let's choose this person watching you. Up on top of here. They definitely aren't against being seen by you, but they do seem to be against being seen by other people.
Does a
Okay.
passive perception of 18 catch this person?
No.
Okay.
I'll send Lucian just like over in this direction, just like slowly going around to like do a circle, and he'll eventually get a closer glimpse. And I'll whisper, spoons.
Yeah, that's the one of the words. Yeah, so that one is gonna mean possible danger.
Yeah, there's someone watching us. I don't think these words really work.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I
There
think
just was no
spoons.
stopping the conversation. That happened so immediately. All right.
Are you gonna? They're gonna continue watching Lucian.
They're just watching.
Yeah. Are they? They're gonna hold out their hand.
Specifically,
They're gonna
the
step
bird?
here, and then they're gonna hold out their hand a little bit for like you're gonna like to kind of have a bird that perches. Yep.
All right, he's gonna perch.
Um,
I should move it over. I don't know what's gonna happen.
they're going
At the
to.
mention of. Oh, sorry, never mind.
They're going to they're going to hold out a small compass, and like they're like meaning for Lucian to grab it.
All right, he'll grab it.
Um. Uh. This person also seems to be wearing a uniform of some kind.
Am I in 100 meters?
Oh yes, you definitely are.
Oh, do I recognize it?
Yes, this would be a similar signal to the Royal District Guards.
Royal District Guards.
Yep.
Why would they be giving him a compass?
You do know that there's a little bit of paper wrapped around
Oh,
part of the paper, but it is wrapped.
Okay. I will now send Lucian to just head off like 100 meters, duck into an alleyway so the guard can't see, and then like secretly make his way back to me.
The guard's gonna just like as soon as Lucian flies off, the guard is gone.
How do I delete those?
If you are in the thing, you can tap the thing and press delete. There's also I think a trash bucket to delete all of the ones you have on a map. And then Lucian comes back.
Are we walking while we're doing this, Eyes, or did you like stop moving?
I would have held on to whoever was nearest me, just to keep.
Probably would have been that, so I would have given you my arm. And his other hand has slipped from the scabbard slightly up, so it's actually grabbing the hilt.
Awesome. All right, Lucian's back. What do you got, buddy? Looks like we got a compass and a piece of paper. I'll check the paper.
The paper specifically as you read it. I believe both Eyes and Catalion understand it in Old Elvish, saying to find the pyromancer. You notice that this compass is not pointing north.
Okay, I see that. And okay, I'm gonna tell everyone. I'm just so the Royal Guards, they're looking for the pyromancer.
All
right.
Yeah.
How did your bird find this?
Well, he saw someone watching. You know, he's a quite perceptive lad.
Speaking of, we're okay now, right? Everything's fine now.
Yeah, everyone's
all right.
Yeah, he's left.
Okay, good.
So, I don't exactly know if he. I do need to find that man. So I don't know if that's something for me or the Royal Guard just needed to find someone. I don't know.
Make a mind check.
I'm a lot more. I'm not as smart as I once was.
This definitely seems to be written in the same way and not currently used dialect of Elvish as the previous people that told you to go after the pyromancer.
Okay. Oh, never mind. Nothing. I'll throw it back in. Actually, it's something that Theo's supposed to help me about. Now that I'm thinking about it, she owes me a favor.
Pyromancer?
Yeah.
Hold on. Are we not okay? Things just got a lot different. That might just throw our whole plan out of the window. The Royal Guard have hired you.
No.
You don't think that it was actually a part of the Royal Guard, just someone pretending to be?
It's likely someone pretending to be, because that's The people who gave me Lucian hired me to kill the pyromancer. And I've been meaning to do that, but we've been busy with everything going down. And also, I think I would likely die. Verdi's quite strong.
Italian's gonna quickly read his notes and find out if he's heard anything about this pyromancer. Oh.
So, do you know anything about him? Would you like to help me kill him? I'm always looking for a buddy.
I think we should probably find out more about this fellow before we kill him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we should kill him. Maybe that'll help.
I'm leaning more on the side of killing him, but right now I just need to find him. So we can do that first. I'm always
Tell
polite.
you
I
what.
first. No assassination type stuff. No. We're talking to his face.
All right.
Yeah.
How about this? I will promise to help you find this pyromancer.
Oh, thank you.
If
Yes.
we meet him and we find that he might actually be one of the good guys, you promise not to immediately shoot him in the face.
I will not immediately shoot him in the face. I will hear him out. I'll give you that.
said that so specifically. All right, you'll hear him out?
I'll hear him out. I promise that.
Is it a heart check to find out if he's just planning on like following the letter of this agreement or the heart of this agreement?
This would be like you could do an insight check.
Not immediately shoot him in the face. Waits 0.5 seconds. Bang.
You can
I should have just put in though and be like, he said the same thing to Thea, that he would at least hear him out. So
I'll hear him out. Yeah, I've been saying that.
So that is a 15 to find out if you're like hear him out as in like I'll let him speak and then shoot him, or like I actually might be convinced by him, depending what happens.
Yeah. For eyes, you don't have to. I mean, message me what you're doing, but you don't have to mention which one you're doing. I want you to do a heart check for how either convincing you are, like in terms of deception, or just in being like, yeah, this is a thing we should do kind of generally, and thinking that like whether it's honesty or deception, just roll a heart check for it and tell me which one it is, or DM it to me on Discord.
And
I guess since it's lower as well, you can just be honest to Italian about what you're trying to do there, or what he detects, what you think you detect on a rolling 2 higher than you.
Yeah, no, I'm being honest. Like, I promised other people I wouldn't shoot on sight because that's not smart. I don't know him well enough. And he was also a general when he left. So he's a top shot. He's a hot shot. I didn't know why he left. If he doesn't give me a good reason, then we'll fire.
All right, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. Well, we'll see if maybe even if we're going to be going to the wardens again, we can blackmail them, and I'm sure I can get any information that they have on the pyromancer. Probably.
I assume this compass leads to the pyromancer. I pull up the compass. It's not facing north.
Is it facing in the direction that we're going?
Yeah.
Oh, so we must be meeting him today. This is gonna be a fun day, eh?
Potentially. We'll see.
I tug it back into my cloak.
All right. Well, smells like daffodils around here to me, which is lovely. Why don't we keep going?
Yes.
All right. Feel free to Are you guys? How are you guys going down the street? Are you just kind of walking, or are you kind of like?
I'm going to be wearing like a hood, trying to be inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catalion is sweeping with his eyes.
Or within the pockets of Victoria.
Yep. How's Cruz walking down?
Should have her hood back up, and then also trying to make sure that her sword is also hidden.
Okay.
Catalion will be off to the side.
I'd like everyone to roll either kind of a heart check to kind of performance of like act casual, or nimbleness to be a bit more stealthy.
We're going nimbleness.
That's another +4 for Victoria's stealth check.
Milo, my nimbleness should be 6.
Is it not?
Yeah. Oh, and my mine should be 2.
Let me.
Oh, and my size should be 4. I just realized right now. And my AC should be 18. I didn't check my main stats.
Your AC should be
13 because I'm size. Oh wait, no, it should be 15. No. It should be 15. Yeah, it's 15.
Oh, I accidentally rolled an unarmed for you. Unarmed. Yeah, unarmed, by the way, does not work. I've tried to get the roller to work, but there's a bunch of things behind. I keep just trying to click on your sheet to click on that tab, but it's not working. So just ignore what I'm doing. What else is incorrect for stats? Also, you may need to close your Foundry for mine to be proper.
I may have too many tabs open. Let me close them.
Essence Heart. Mine is 2. Essence.
And Essence is 0. Everything is 0 except for Might, which is -2.
If it didn't actively change for you, just close your sheet and open it again.
All right, it changed. Yep. Yeah, cool.
And everything should be correct. Although it's still saying your AC is 15 for some reason, or 17 on this.
What the fuck? It changed again.
Did we do your AC? It did it after I changed the nimbleness. I'm wondering if it did it.
It's not the light art. You have it 15 normally. It should be 13 normally, and it bumps up to 15, including the armor. So my since my size is 4, I should have an AC of 13, but with my armor I have 15. But right now it's naturally.
Well, with
15.
your nimbleness it would be 15, and then what is your armor grant?
2.
A +2 to AC, so then it would be 17.
Oh, never mind.
Because with your size class, would subtract the 13 to 9, and then you'd add the 6, which is 15, 17. Yep, yeah, that's correct. 17 is correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, yeah. So you guys start progressing down. They're not trying to be quiet. You notice outside of this alleyway ahead of you, there's a group of definitely just gang members. More just kind of looks like they were just wandering around. They're not necessarily on patrol. They're just kind of having fun. One of them definitely is holding like a couple bags that seem to be just of that has like a candlestick kind of hanging out of it, and like some cutlery, and then the other one definitely you can't quite see what's in it, but they're decently full, and each one seems to have some kind of bag they can't quite see, but so presumably they're looting, and they're kind of crossing the street. Do you guys how do you guys proceed? They're kind of meandering slowly.
Catalion's gonna pause and look at this stall a little bit.
You just hear them be like, it was easy to get into there. Yay. So what did you get, Timmy? Well, I got some pretty nice plates. One of them had some gold plating. I hope it's real and not just some nice paint. Well, boy, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, considering the area. It's not like it's the wealthiest, but and then it starts, turning back to murmurs as they keep on going and walking down. And you guys keep all keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Italian pulls out his sword and marks them for death. I'm just kidding.
All right. Which direction would you guys like to? How would you guys like to proceed from here?
I don't mean to do that. Oh my goodness. Can you...
Italian's gonna cross the street. Kind
Oh,
of
there we go. Sorry.
pass by them as he does, and be like just kind of like observe something, pick up a fruit that's been knocked over, observe it, rubber it off on his shirt a little bit, and talk kind of casually over his shoulder towards Eyes. Any chance that Lucian could perhaps give us a heads up of what's coming in our path?
Yeah, and I'll send Lucian up like 50 meters, so he's like above the roofs.
Mhm.
And what does he see anything other than the group of people who just left?
I believe you should be able to see ahead a little bit, right? At least if you click on Lucian.
Yeah. Actually, can I? Give me a second.
If you select him, I think you should have his vision rather than just.
I have a group selected. Oh yeah, I have more vision.
Yeah.
We got 4 more going the other way. Down the left. Is it or left?
These ones seem to be more like stationed for guards. These ones are kind of just chatting.
These ones are just chatting, and
these ones are guards. The other side is chatting. Yeah.
We got 2 guards coming up on our on the left side of the fork, and the guys one on the right side of the fork. There are 2 other people around, but nothing else other than that I see.
Do the guards look like they're gonna be messing with us, or are they just holding police somewhere?
Looks like the holding place. There's 2 other randos right by them. Looks like stall owners, so it doesn't look like they're making any trouble.
All right. Well,
all right. I'll send
you
Lucian
lead
come
the
back.
way in terms of where you think is safest.
We'll head to the 2 guards. It's only 2 of them, so worst comes to worst, we can jump them. And I'll start heading down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you guys can keep on moving.
Yeah.
As you will.
Okay.
Yeah, as you kind of approach, you see there's 2 guards stationed, and yeah, there are 2 stall owners. The guards are stationed definitely because it seems to be that they're more detecting a high traffic area and kind of looking out over some of the stalls that are actually kind of occupied. There doesn't seem to be quite anyone out quite yet at this hour, and they're definitely, and it seems like the stall owners are more setting up for the day. Guard owners, or not the guard, the guard. By guards, these are definitely like gang member guards stationed here. It's not like these are
Are
city
they
guards.
protecting the stalls or like just there?
Roll a perception check of some kind, or insight. Up to you.
Wow, there you go. First one.
They do definitely be standing there. Yep, they are currently in
just
the position of which
there.
they are. They are existing. They are. Yep.
I think with that, with the nat 1, I'm gonna actually go ahead and say GM. One of them catches the fact that I'm looking at him too much.
Oh, I was about to get to them rolling perception already.
Okay.
Here. First one is top Pat McGee. The second one's red.
Oh gosh.
11 and 13. Okay.
I'm trying to start trouble. I'm just supposed to sneak through.
Plus their bonuses. All right. Yeah. The red guy definitely clocks you. The other The red guy seems to looks to be a kind of a bit of a taller but much thinner dwarf, probably half elf. Considering how lithe he is, and he kind of just glances over and pushes down his glasses. And he's gonna take a step towards you and just be like, "What you staring at there, huh?"
No, nothing, sir. I'm sorry. And
No, no, it's not nothing.
Italian's,
Something interesting about me, about my face.
no, I, I, I've never been able to
Your mother loves your face.
afford your spectacles, sir. They looked interesting.
My spectacles, eh? Roll a deception check.
I like the fact that you say you've never been able to like afford spectacles, the thing that you must obviously see.
Ah, my spectacles,
Yeah.
eh? You like them? Here, have them. And he just like tosses them to you like halfway in the ground, and he pulls out another pair and puts them on before going back to kind of just chilling and keeping watch,
Probably.
kind of silently listening
Italian
to
is
the
going
conversation.
to scrabble forward and like almost half slide onto his knees to like pick them up.
He's no longer paying attention to you. He's
And
just
he's
completely.
gonna clutch them.
Mhm.
And as he walks by, thank you.
And he just kind of like he kind of just scoffs and kind of shakes his head, not even giving you time of day anymore.
As Catalion rounds the corner away from the guy, he stands up straighter, cricks his neck, whips out the sunglasses, puts them on.
I can't move Cruz, by the way. I don't know if those just did.
Can you not?
No. I can only do these things.
Are they red?
Oh, never mind. I can move now.
There you
Like we did.
go. Are you guys trying to like walk through together or staggered?
Staggered, I'm assuming.
Well, if we're staggered,
gonna
it
say
makes
together.
more sense for me to go first because I actually have the vision to see where we're going.
You said hello.
Hello? No, I said if we're going staggered, it makes more sense
Okay.
for me to lead.
I was wondering if you're saying hello when you said hello, if you're saying it to one of them or if you're just saying it to make sure we can hear you.
No. Yeah, I was just saying to make sure.
Yeah, no, you pass by through. They just kind of like they don't even seem to really be recognizing, the blind guy. They're just like, all right,
Okay.
whatever.
I'm gonna quickly catch up to Catalion because Lucian's shown me a sight of more fellas we'll likely have to deal with. So I'll catch up to Catalion to stop him from moving on.
Catalion is actually super digging these sunglasses. Out of curiosity, old Elvish days, would the super wealthy have had spectacles or something like them?
I think in your days, the
Yeah.
only
Okay, so then as far as he's
person,
concerned, this totally is like, oh, okay.
the only person to have ever had any kind of sunglasses specifically would have been Apollo.
Okay, so never mind. These are entirely new to him. He is like putting them on, taking them off, putting them on, taking them off, and being like, huh, this is actually pretty cool.
All right, buddy. Wait here for a second. I'll sort out Lucian again. Make sure he sees what he needs to see.
At Cruz.
Oh, I meant you should just always have him out that far ahead, but
Well, I kind of need a walk as well. If we're staggered like that, I gotta go. But
yeah, that's right. You can't. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
So, I'll send out Lucian again. He'll give a. Do you want me to do perception rolls or just go by vision?
I don't think any of these guys are. If you want to roll a perception check on top of it, there may be other things you can perceive, but by and large, the main things that you can see are what you can see just naturally with your passive perception. Is kind of how.
Yeah.
If you want to
While
perceive
Eyes
extra,
is- while Eyes is doing that, Catalion is leaning up against the wall, looking back the way he came to see if Cruz and Greg and Victoria make it through nicely.
Cruz, as you're passing by, this stall owner is gonna kind of like stop you and be like, "Hi there, miss. I couldn't help but notice that you have some nice looking clothes there, some jewelry, some embroidery. Would you like to expand your jewelry here?" And he just like, "I have a nice ruby store here." And he kind of goes to the side and you see a bunch of different bespeckled, ruby jeweled, uh, just jewelry and accessories of various kinds.
How much?
How much? Oh, well, what are you interested in?
Almost, I guess baseline. What do they averagely go for?
Oh, average. Oh, these are quite exquisitely made, quite well. Um, the finest of finest dwarves have gone into the production of these, and I would say most of them on average go for 50 ek.
How about I give you 50 and you let me know if anyone's following me? If I ever run across you again. She kind of tosses like the 50 and keeps walking.
Oh, wonderful! I'll keep it reserved for you, for when you can pick it up. Yes. And he kind of goes back into his stall and starts messing around with stuff. All right, Greg.
Kate.
Kidding.
Casual walk.
You definitely see uh this you're not really sure what he is. He just looks like a really scrungly kind of fellow. Kind of realize that he's a hairless cat, a hairless koyan, who just kind of a little bit old, very tattooed and very wrinkly. He's definitely like eyeing you and just be like, and he starts whispering to the half dwarf next to him.
And we keep moving on.
Yeah.
All right. We got 4 more people going. If we go straight across, there's 4 more people. Milo, was Lucian able to perceive if they were like guards or just
Oh
like
yeah, you did roll a perception check.
yeah?
25, huh?
Just want to make sure if they're just guards or normal people.
For those people, these are more gang members. They're definitely kind of like
Gang members?
on a patrol to kind of they're definitely like armed and not just in the way that like everyone is like at the ready to the side.
Oh,
They're
cool.
definitely looking
All
for
right.
something. On your
What direction?
perception, are you
Oh, sorry.
specifically trying to perceive them, or are you perceiving kind of the general area?
No, just more them and like the
Mhm.
direction they're going
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're walking up the road.
Cool. Okay, I pull up. All right, we have an armed battalion. Everyone, we have an armed company of gang members coming this way real quick. So what we're gonna do is take this right, like go this way right now, because we got. I don't want to deal with those gang members. All right,
Battalion is moving.
cool.
I'm just move.
Cruz and Victoria, I'd like you both of you to roll a nimbleness check. I think Eyes and Catalan were far enough ahead and early enough to move that you guys are fine to
Fine.
kind of get there, but
Awesome.
I got a
Well, that's not
14.
good.
yeah, as you're kind of going,
The power of speed walk.
let's roll a perception check for him.
Does a what in the world?
That was
40
rolling
6,
one for
16,
each.
14, 4.
Okay.
If this is a stealth check, that is an 18.
Not a stealth check, just a can you get of their line of sight fast enough kind of thing, because that seems to be what you guys were trying to do.
Yeah.
I think they clock. I don't think they clock you, Victoria. I think you guys kind of make it out to a non-suspicious area. But considering they're definitely like heading up this way, they get to the spot point where they definitely clock you, Cruz. And then you immediately also notice they do where they were kind of like just silent before. As soon as they clock you, they kind of slow down a little bit and start whispering a little bit.
Okay, well,
Of course, it's the person that looks the richest.
she's gonna like kind of glare at them and keep kind of walking.
They're gonna kind of like as they're kind of walking, they're gonna kind of fan out a little bit as you're kind of walking through the square.
Good. She's going to kind of like move her cloak a little bit so her sword can be seen. She's definitely trying to intimidate them.
Roll an intimidation check.
It's just a hard check.
What do you think you would like to roll for this intimidation check?
My might.
You can do mine in this case, yeah.
Oh, I'm really so low today. I'm so sad.
It's tragic, really. It's really tragic.
I know.
7. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do it. I think they're
How old does Cruz look?
She's in her mid-30s. We actually older 30s.
Okay.
Well, I think you should have made me a child.
Rebecca, what are you... Gentlemen, I'm so sorry. Rebecca, what are you doing?
Trying to do some shopping.
No, you're flashing your sword at these gentlemen. I'm so sorry, sirs. Now, come on, your sister is gonna not be happy with you messing... Stop acting tough. Come on.
roll a kind of performance deception check. 21 again. I'm just gonna roll for this. Okay. Yep. They're the brains of the operation, the one you kind of can clock that they're kind of looking to see whatever. Kind of does a little bit of a head motion, and then they stop paying attention to you and keep walking up the road.
Real quick, never mind. If they're just not paying attention, never mind. I was gonna say, did any of them look like they had a ring on their finger or anything using that 21?
For a heart check?
Any of them look? Yeah.
I'd want you to make another a perception check.
No, I'm not gonna do that because they're already leaving.
Yeah.
I swear, when I married your sister, I did not think I was getting into this kind of mess. He does put his arm around you and say, "I'm sorry, I know this is kind of the thing you don't like, but it's got to be convincing." And he kind of checks over his shoulder to wait until to see if they're gone. And as soon as they're gone, he takes his hand off.
Yeah, when you did that, you could feel her just tense up. Like you felt you might have been in danger for a split second.
You do it, and your spidey senses just started going off, and it's just like danger, 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 danger. All right, yeah. You guys keep walking down the street.
All right. As the look's clear, we'll just keep on heading down this way.
Doesn't seem to be anyone quite right in front of you.
No. I'm going to get to before the bridge. We're about here. And I'll send Lucian up to see what's around again.
Yeah, with that, you see a couple people who you can kind of assume are by the looks of things are locals. This Fairvahar here and this dwarf here, and then there's a gnome and some kind of squid man, and definitely in sailor gear with a bunch of barnacles growing all over him. They you notice that there's a food crate tipped over, and they're definitely kind of like aggressively doing stuff. You can't quite understand what they're saying, but they're here, and there does seem to be some kind of confrontation.
I go over to Italian again because we are still quite staggered. Looks like we have a bit of a scuffle happening down the bridge. We can soak around or just go through this little path, take the other bridge, and not have to deal with anything, or we can just ignore them and go through. Though it is a pretty small path, so we would have to deal with them if we go on this bridge.
We're trying
So
to
I,
avoid trouble as much as we can.
yeah,
There's plenty of it in our future.
all right, we'll take the other bridge then. And yeah, we'll start heading to the other bridge through the boxes, I guess.
All right, Catalan's gonna kind of wait and like kind of signal the rest of the group to be moving around to the other bridge as they come by.
Move as you guys will. I will say that you guys, as you pass this one, you definitely hear some shutters close from the inside of the window immediately as you kind of pass it.
I'm just going to ignore that. I just want to take the bridge.
There's a weird quiet to the streets that, even in the short time that you've been in the city, Catalian, you've known them to be bustling, and there's the weird ability to hear both the murmuring of the distant scuttle, and besides that, you can hear the soft breeze, even just blowing and rustling the dust on the streets.
Do I know this?
I'm saying everyone. There's that degree of silence that the city has had this past week that, especially on this day, seems to be extra quiet.
Is
Extra
this like a disconcerting thing about the fact that the city is in ruins and all of this stuff is happening at once, or is this more of a like the hair on the back of my neck is rising?
I think as you're going south, there seems to be a bit of both. Primarily the city in ruin, but there's a little bit of just the back, the hair at the back, or I guess the whatever kind of plant hair that you have as a glade runner is kind of standing on end.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
rustling.
As Cruz and Victoria walk by, I just kind of I'm bending over looking in this barrel, and as each of them pass by, I'm like, I'm sorry, have you seen any of my spoons? I just bought some and I spilled them all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't find any spoons around the market. So
Greg is just gonna be like, where from inside the coat? Where did you see him last?
Greg.
So we're gonna. Chris is waiting for everybody to see if they're gonna keep going that way.
Oh, okay. Is Cruz
we're
waiting for
supposed-
everyone else to keep moving? Because
Yeah.
We're supposed to be going this
Okay.
way, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
Italian's waving you that way. So if Cruz stops, then he's gonna shrug and keep moving.
You said that you heard the shutters close, like right?
Right there.
Can I check? Can I try opening the windows?
Opening the windows?
Well, it's the shutters or whatever.
Oh, like it's like the
Top floor.
Yeah. No, it'd be the same floor. I'm like, yeah, you can. Why?
I'll be gentle about it. I just want to see what's inside.
Okay. You reach open and start opening up the shutters, and you see a dimly lit, what looks like a dining room inside. That's kind of what you see at first glance. Are you wanting to like really peer in, or are you just opening it to kind of like just do a general check?
I really want to peer in.
Does a passive perception of 18 mean that I see this?
Seeing that she's opening a shutter back here, I think you can just see it. Yeah.
All right. He's gonna whistle a little bit over and like give her a meaningful like head tug towards the direction they're going.
Fine. You can see her like that's like the face that she makes and keep But I am. Do I not sense people watching me?
No, not really. I mean, there's definitely like for some of the homes, like you can see through some of the shutters and stuff. Like it's not like no one's home in these houses, but it's like everyone has shut themselves in at this moment in time, at this part of the day at least. Or some of these are definitely like offices, and there's a bunch of stalls and stuff that are like not having not opened for the day, but it looks like they're still being used actively. They just haven't been open for the day yet.
Okay.
Catalion comes up next to you, Eyes. Anything else for the road ahead?
Sorry, I have tabs open. No, we'll take the first turn and we'll go down that street. It'll keep us away from the others.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, all of you keep progressing and
Yeah.
going out. And you could even just walk underneath the tree. There's just like a little pot, so it's not like this is necessarily blocking you. There's just branches above,
Cool.
like much above. So you guys could even like kind of walk in like on this half even. But yeah, you notice and kind of hear the scuffle. You hear Cruz as you're passing. You definitely hear the dwarf just kind of be like, please, it's all we have. It's all we have.
Oh.
And this guy's definitely the squid guy kind of just makes some just weird squelching sounds, and then the gnome's like, see, me and my associate here, we're not too pleased with that. You were supposed to have 500 ek this week as well as last week. I know we got the 500 ek last week, which means that you have the ability to give us 500. I know, but with the gangs and everything, with the explosions, people have been locked inside. They're scared, and a lot of them were injured. And I business isn't as good then. I understand. I know you understand in me. That's never been the issue. The issue is you don't have it. You don't have the money. And you see him just kind of be like, and it'd be a shame if you had even a harder time next week. And then he pushes over a second barrel or a box of produce, and the squid guy steps on another one.
Out of curiosity, has Catalion noticed Cruz noticing this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think with a passive perception.
Can I do a flurry?
Oh.
Yeah, you can do a flurry. Flurry's a how big?
It's just an aesthetic. It's just a bonus action aesthetic. It's just some snow. It's nothing serious.
How big is a flurry?
It would be a 17 by 17 because it'd be as big as the blizzard.
Okay, 17 by 17. Let's just do that. Yeah, the snow starts falling, and then they don't seem to necessarily notice right away. And then the squid guy kind of makes some more squelching sounds, and you see him just kind of like looking up, and then he nudges the gnome guy and points up, and then the gnome guy kind of looks around, and he's like, "You got one more week, okay? If you can't make 500, and that's 500 for this week and next week combined, we'll be a little bit more amenable. If you can't get that, then we'll have conversations. But for now, we're good. We're solid. Have a good day." You see them like just kind of like start briskly walking away. Still definitely and he kind of like specifically like while making eye contact with the dwarf shop owner stomps on another fruit and then keeps walking.
I'll come out. You're doing all that?
Huh? What?
You're doing okay. Heard anywhere?
Who are you? Sorry, yeah, we're doing fine. We're business. Are you wanting to buy some vegetables?
Yeah, can you send some over to the Shield District? Is that possible? I know the wars.
Yeah, we can do a delivery. It might take a little bit longer, but we'll get it there for sure. Do you have an address?
Yeah, just delivered to Shield District. There should be, if you ask around, some ladies called the Fates. They'll be able to help you out.
For sure. Me and my wife here can go check that out. Yes.
Here's payment. He's just gonna put 1,000 egg and give it to them.
They're just gonna look down and look back up and look down. I don't know if we have enough product to serve 1,000 egg. I don't.
That's okay.
It's too much. It's too much.
The extra's for you. With everything happening, I think you kind of need it.
You notice both of them, their eyes kind of start to tear up, and they look at each other, and then the Fairvahar kind of leans down on her dwarf husband, and just thank you so much. Your kindness knows no bounds, especially in these moments. We'll get the order right away. And then they see them start scuttling to work.
Okay, just gonna walk back over.
Catalion is leaning on the tree, smiling at her.
She does not care for it. She's gonna keep walking. Like, it to her, it's like any other thing that she would have done.
Well, as you walk by, he does say, like, that was awful nice of you to do for them.
I'm an awful nice person.
All right. Well, let's get back to it then.
All right. You guys continue to walk through the city. You end up weaving your way through Lightspeak. It's more or less the same, but as you go on, there seems to be more and more noise. You start hearing crashing orders, clangs of metal. And there definitely seems to be fighting further on. But not quite that much fighting where you are. Let's move to there's the map. Let's move to the map. You end up where were you guys wanting to cross, or were you kind of roughly following the compass?
We were aiming to cross over here,
yeah.
more or less.
As you've gone here, Eyes, you would have noticed that the compass has shifted. It's not bent. It's not quite turning quite as drastically, but it's still pointing further down the coast of this river. It seems to be knowing compasses. It does seem to be that you've gone quite a bit closer to whatever it's pointing to, though.
Okay, I'll whisper over to Catalion because he's the only one close to me. Pyromancer's close, is getting closer. So, keep your heads up.
Do you have any idea what he looks like?
You have seen him, yes. You know that he's a tallish elf, rather tired looking and worn out, with a dark black stained leather outer coat, some gloves, and some kind of a messy top of dark black hair.
I guess you could best describe him as a really used goth vampire who's been through too many wars. You'll know when you see him.
Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna label that as accurate for him. Yep.
Absolute savage.
All right. Are you
That's
guys?
not what my art looks like, but okay.
No, but he's been through a lot, and he's been roaming a city. And last time,
that's
well as
true.
last
No,
time they saw him, he had like just arrived at and just met.
Last time they saw him, he was not looking pretty. Hadn't
No.
showered in like a week and a half. So fair enough.
Well over probably, considering how long he'd been in modern Canthorn as well. It might have been over a month. Well over a month, yeah.
So my description is accurate.
Yep.
Oh yeah, fair enough. No, it was It was wonderful, wonderfully harsh.
I think very, very accurate for where they would have seen him. Yeah. So do you guys end up kind of nearing where you were meaning to cross the river? There doesn't seem to be too many people around there. You do hear like the occasional like patrol and people around. Do you guys
Cross.
do you guys start crossing, or do you want to start following the compass a little bit further up course to see?
I say we cross.
All right.
Because Italians have favorite, we call it.
Well, this is where it gets hard though, because the river's flowing that way, and he points down past the keep, and we want to. So the river's flowing. If everyone's looking at the same thing I am, river's flowing this way, and we want to go this way. So
It is flowing this way, yeah.
Unless we're particularly good swimmers, I think we're going to have some issues. So if you give me a second here, I'm going to try, and it's a 50 meters wide, you said?
Consistently, would it be 50 meters wide? It's a little bit narrower here. I'd say 25.
25. Okay. He is going to cast Fractured Earth.
Ooh,
and he's going to.
He just launches.
That is a different option that I didn't even think about, but that's a better idea.
Yeah.
It comes with having Thea have the same ability.
All right, so I'm gonna need you to get ready because I'm gonna basically launch us across. If you all are all right with that.
Yep. I'm ready.
Okay. I can do 3 at a time. So who's the first 3 up?
All right.
I guess everyone but me would probably make sense.
Yeah.
Greg, can you just float over? Since you're hovering?
Well, you got to send over.
Victoria, are you good to do this?
I think so. We can certainly try.
All right. Well, everyone get nice and close to the edge here, as close as you can get, and then we'll see if this works.
So, how exactly are you trying to use the Earth Pillar to jettison you guys?
I figure I'm aiming at about a 15 degree and slamming the ground, and I'm basically going to get the ground behind them to disappear and basically shove it forwards into the pillars of stone as fast as possible.
Full Avatar, Last Airbender.
And you're using that so you have something to stand on that's being slammed into?
Yeah, so I'm getting them close to the edge so they have less distance to go, and I'm basically going to throw the ground that they're on. That's the top of the pillar, and it's going to fly forwards 3 meters, which is a good bit of time to build up momentum. So,
okay, so what I'm going to need, because you're specifically separating the ground that you're standing on as well, and then you're using 3 pillars, you said, for this?
It does 3 pillars.
Yeah, I get 3 pillars automatically, I think. Oh, maybe no, it's 1 at a time. Never mind.
You can summon as many as you want, but it ups your DC by 4 per. Excuse me. If you're wanting the force to push 3 people who on average is going to have a normal size class, an average-ish size class, I would say that it would require 3 pillars of force, but because you're having that extra loose bit, I think that would have to count as 4 pillars, which would be a DC of 16.
Question.
I will be launching them 1 at a time. I was mistaken.
1 at a time. 2 pillars.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How fast is this river moving?
Fast enough to sweep you guys.
Okay. Second question. Could I do my skating rink on the water?
This is a good question because it's moving fast. I mean, like you can definitely try. Would definitely be my way. I'm just trying to think of like how, because the DC wouldn't be normal. Because usually siphoning skating rink is to like over solid ground, to make thick enough ice just to be slippery.
Out of curiosity, real quick, how deep is this river? As we're just walking along the shore and we're starting to talk this out.
Definitely deeper than you guys could safely stand. Yeah.
No, because you get someone
Okay.
under the water.
Yeah. Okay. How deep in meters is it? If we're going with Bow River gets maybe 5 meters deep at its deepest.
No, this is it'd probably be 15 meters deep, or yeah,
15 meters deep.
Yeah.
All right. Huh.
This is both a natural river as well as this is because to remind you as well, Light's Peak before the blight and before everything existed on the mountain. So this was also a how do we make this river more dangerous so we can make our keep and everything in our mountain safer and harder to get to. So it was dug out and then eroded from there as well.
Ice rink? Here's the question. Could I do it like a little bit ahead of us, like up the river? I mean, I guess
at the other side of the river?
No, where's the map? Like if we're right here, right? If we're just like tiny little corner right here, just like a little bit above it.
Mm-hmm.
So an ice rink, and assuming I could make a pretty thick ice rink, even if the river breaks it, there should still be enough of ice to jump across.
Greg, how much can you carry?
Is my question. I'm just.
He looks at you. You're looking at a baseball.
Yeah, you're magic. I don't know what that means. The baseball is talking to me. I feel like that means that the hard
if an
rules are
elemental
already gone.
had the capacity to be bigger, they would be bigger. I can carry a softball.
I'm just.
And a stick of dynamite.
If he launches us, could I? And then we don't get as far.
Fractured Earth is permanent, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you mean by permanent?
Like the pillar's not going anywhere after I'm done.
No, it's not.
Unless I reshape it. If we're willing to wait, I can just build a bridge of pillars on pillars on pillars across the way. It's 25-ish meters across, looks like. So that's gonna take me 5 plus another 4. Yeah, about 9 or 10 pillars. If I go 2 each time, we should be across in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure. Well,
you could try that, yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm not going to put my pillars into the water because that sounds like a great time to just really be sad when the water shatters it because it's not well secured. So I'm going to cast a pillar up at an angle so it's about a half a foot over the water.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start with 2 pillars, which is a DC of 8.
So you're doing this 2 pillars wide?
No, 2 pillars long.
2 pillars long.
So can I fuse a pillar to another pillar?
So you're doing you're earth pillaring an earth pillar up. Yeah, I mean that is something that you can do, which would be 6 meters. DC of 8.
Yes. That's why it's gonna take me about 9 or 10 to get across.
Hey Greg, can you float over real quick? Can you just real quick float over real quick?
Yeah. I can float.
Do a
No. Victoria can't though.
do a
Just so I'm
DC
fine.
mind check first,
DC
And then
mind
talking
check.
or
to
not a
me?
DC mind check, but just a mind check is what I meant.
Let them
Just do a
figure it out, and
mind
then I'm gonna do
check.
something.
Okay. I also gain advantage to casting earth magic. That's a good thing to remember.
Yeah,
That's
yes, this is a good thing to
mind
remember.
check first.
Hello. Since Greg has floated over, can I do a equivalent exchange real quick?
Not very good.
Yep, you can. Wait, what's your equivalent exchange range?
I think it's as long as I see them.
You're correct. Yep.
Okay.
So that 5 is what I was checking for specifically, would be structural integrity and just, hey, can you just generally build a decent bridge? I think you would have trouble. You would still get advantage on it though, but there would be some difficulty. And then as you're building that, I want you to roll your fractured earth.
Okay. Oh no. 1, 2. Okay, that was 12.
Yep. You see as you start beginning to create your fractured earth across, you see Greg cross. Suddenly Cruz is teleported there. Greg then comes back to the side, and you see just Cruz then teleports with someone else.
Oh, Victoria.
Yep. And then you see them teleporting back, starting to be teleported back and forth. Do you continue or do you just stare, or what do you do?
I'm gonna be like, well, that works better than all of the options. And he is going to cast Fractured Earth again. To destroy what he just made.
Okay.
And 11 will do that.
So now here's a question. You are sliding giant sheets of rock around. You are trying to sneak across a river into another district. And you know that you're in gang controlled territory.
Yeah.
How quietly would you be doing this, I guess? Like, would you be trying to be quiet, or would you just be trying to do it fast and get it done?
Based on how fast and deep the river is, and the fact that it's going to be beating against the sides here, I've got a decent amount of cover noise. I'm definitely looking around to see if anyone's like doing anything. Like if there's anyone watching us or anything like that. So priority, especially once Cruz gets things going, it's probably going to be a bit more. It's probably half and half, like a mixture between speed and stealth. He's not doing it willy-nilly.
Okay.
But by the same regard, he was also considering the idea of this was the best way across, and so he was gonna do it as fast as possible, even if that meant a little bit of sound.
All right. Make a roll to see of your choice, whatever stat check you think you would be best, to see how carefully you could be doing this sound wise.
I think that's gonna be so Fractured Earth is determined by might. So I would say that it would be a might check to like be able to, like, because if you're really strong, you can lift weights slowly and carefully. But if you're not, you have to like pump it. So
I'll do a.
That's a 13 against whatever you're putting there. Nope.
This is also this is with earth magic though as well. So I think I would be comfortable with you doing that with advantage.
Yeah, that 13 was definitely the best we had there, Bob.
That's so funny. I feel like you're really, really good. What happened?
Yep. As you are doing that, you definitely hear some cluttering of armor from probably a street away, just being like, just like Did you hear that? Yep. And like you can hear just enough of that. And there definitely seems to get that armor is getting a little bit louder from what you can tell.
Okay, well, how long will it take me? Because I think I got everybody across except for him.
At this point, yeah, there's just him. Yeah, there'd just be him left.
Here's a look over. Dally, you ready to go?
Yep, please get me out of here.
Yep.
Yep. So you teleport over.
I would also like to say,
grabbing him.
based on
Swap with Greg.
who I would be playing Warden, there is not a chance in the world that there is not people patrolling these banks on the Warden side of things.
Greg starts flying back. Eyes, you notice that your compass is going directly across the river.
Cool. Well, I knew who. I'll mention that. I could. Well, everyone's across the river, so
What is going on? What's wrong?
I'll just say noted and mention that to whoever's near me. Watch out for trying to make sure he's near.
Okay, well, that's a later problem, correct? So I feel like we should probably head.
Oh man. Oh, that was weird. Oh, I feel my insides. Okay, no, now I'm normal again. What were you saying?
Pyromancer's near. So, heads up.
I think we should just get going.
Yep.
All right.
Where do you want to go?
It is
Mr.
9.
Dally?
You guys have currently crossed the river.
Are we done?
If this is kind of the ending of the encounter, so if that feels like a good place to end it for everyone, that's cool. We could also continue a little bit, depending exactly, but
Depends
I'm just
on
here to
the-
check in.
Can I roll a perception check on behalf of my organization, who are pathetically incompetent if they have allowed this crossing without any challenge?
To be fair, I think you've been at like this area for probably 10 minutes max, and the other side of this the other side of this river is gang controlled, so yes,
Yeah.
do it with advantage.
Okay.
And then I would like one person to make a stealth or kind of a stealth check. One person from the party with just straight normal. You guys can choose who, as well as the wardens.
So this is going to be probably patrol force members, so they're going to get a +5 on this.
Victoria has a +8 to stealth.
Wow.
Yep.
What the heck?
Yep. Roll your Victoria stealth.
It's here. No. No
All
wonder
has
I
returned
lost
to order.
46% of my people.
Yep, you guys can get to the other side just fine. Very quickly as well. Are you just making sure that it's not like stuck? Is that why, or why is the mind roll?
No, I was like, now that it doesn't matter.
Yep. And you guys are
purely to hurt myself. I did that.
quickly able to find some kind of alleyway on this upcoming street, and are kind of realizing that you're kind of mostly behind and like in the back kind of stretch of a bunch of things, and can you quickly see some large buildings that are connected to the wall, and specifically one larger one that seems to be circling roughly around the right area that you guys would be heading towards for the trying to get through the wall. Would you guys like to end it there or keep going for a bit? Are we good to keep going for a bit?
I gotta end it here because I've got stuff to do. But
yeah, we should just end it here.
Yeah, we should probably end it here then.
All right.
I want Dylan to be here for this.
For his favor, I want to hear it. So.
Yes, we shall end it there.
I want Catalion to be